Hello, everyone.
Bollocks! Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Wednesday, 21st of July.
You know that.
I know that. Do you know that? Just,
They know that.
if I may,
Please
I
do.
would just like to say happy
Hello.
birthday to the late, great Robin Williams. 70 today.
If
We
he was
love you,
alive.
Robin. We love you, Robin. Recently, I've been checking out some of his videos on YouTube. Such a funny guy.
Oh, good for you!
Not quite as funny as you, Cockney, but not bad. Not bad.
Was he nothing without the chat?
Ooh. I'd like to ask him, but we can't ask him, can we?
We can't. Shall we do the introductions?
The introductions, okay. I'll just go through the script. Hope you are all very well. We are cooking in the UK again. Temperatures 30 plus, too warm, blah, 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 blah. I would just like to take this opportunity to say thank you to the 200 people who have given me their vote of confidence in this channel.
Yes.
Yay! A channel created to ward off the dark times of a long, continuing lockdown, and to be an outlet for group therapy for people who are feeling the darkness of lockdown. Did it work? What do you think? Yes, no?
Perfect. Go with that.
Did it work?
Do it live. Sure.
Did it work?
Perfectly.
Did it work? Yeah, perfectly. Okay. Okay, right. So tonight, yeah, just an informal get-together. There would have been some guests, but they're all obviously washing their hair. But you know what? Fuck it. All that matters is the people in the chat.
Nothing without
Cockney
the chat.
Spock. Not Brian. And myself. So I would say, shall we get the guests out? But they're already out.
Are we not doing the full intros?
Okay.
He's
so
just
if I
from
take,
Leicester.
Well, yeah, if he was here. Right, okay, right. I'm just going to duck you out. Bear with me. Shall we get the guests out? I think we should. First up, a YouTube giant. And he is big. A YouTube giant in his own mind. Banned from Twitter, he thinks. He's not quite sure. But here he is. He's fucking with me as well. He's ducking his communication off, you bastard. Here he is. Captain Cockney, the thinking man's Robert Meyer Burnett Spock.
The Huguenot of hipster hubris. It's Captain. Hello, everyone. Hello. Congratulations, Brown. The big 200. How you feeling?
Elated. How are you?
Oh, brilliant. I'm jealous. You got 200 and kept it. You didn't go back to 190, up to 201, back to 178, up to... You've actually got 200 and kept 200. Amazing. You've got staying power. I'm impressed. I had to cross over the 200 barrier 5 times before it stuck, and even then I'm still nervous. Well done, Brown. Round of applause for Brown.
Thank you, sir. I obviously must be in YouTube's good books, unlike yourself.
You don't make videos slagging them off, so you've done the smart thing.
Yes, I will admit I've been looking at various points through the day to see if the number would go down. But luckily,
you've held.
We've held. We've stayed long. Long and hard.
Said.
Indeed. So
she said that too.
Are you well, my friend?
I like the illusion that your perspective gives. Our squares actually look like they're trapezoids, but they don't. No, it's not. They're actually rectangles, but the forced perspective is making them look other angular. Very clever. With graphics like that, you'll be at 300 in no time. Well done.
If I may, I would just like, on 5 minutes, I would just like to thank the wonderful StreamYards. And you, obviously.
Thanks.
They comped me a week of graphics, So thank you, StreamYards.
Thank you, StreamYards. Moving on.
Shall we get the next guest out?
Oh, please do.
Okay, let me consult one's notes. Here he is.
Shout out MC, by the way, and 3PO
Hello,
and
MC.
everyone else.
Hail Real Honis. Hello,
you still haven't subscribed, by the way. Hello, chop liver over here, Real Honis. Yeah. That's fine.
Good to see you back, my friend.
Real.
Good to see you back. Let's get the next guest out, then.
Oh, let's get him on.
Boys are back in town.
The boys.
The boys. Next, get your lightsabers at the ready.
Nice.
A true Star Wars fan in every sense of the word.
Every sense.
Every sense.
He's no relation to Sean.
All the way from, and
Las
I will
Vegas.
Not Las Vegas, but Glas
Vegas.
Glas Vegas. Here we have the wonderful, not Brian Young.
Yay!
Good evening, Mr. Brown. Good evening, chat. I was going to say good evening, fellow guests, but there's only Cockers. Good evening, Cockers. How are you?
Hello.
May I offer my most hearty congratulations on your achieving the magnificent milestone of 200 subs.
Thank
and
you,
sustaining it.
Thank you, my friend.
And sustaining it.
It's been a good day. We've managed to stay at 200 for the day. We've still got another 2 hours, so plenty of time to lose them, but fingers crossed.
Don't fuck it up. Now, where's Mega? Where's MegaGeek? Because I've got some time travel chat to have, but there's more. There's more time travel. Well, it's your show. But if there's time for time travel chat, I'm in. If Scotty shows up, Reni, that lot, oh dear. Back to the Future, back to the drawing board more like, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear.
I am expecting some guests to turn up.
Yep.
I don't know if it's going to be today.
Let's hope so.
Jerry Lewis length telethon stream, and we might get a few guests appearing here and there.
You might have Scotty dropping in for a bit of wokey Loki chat. Or
what time's the pub shut?
All right, mate. What time's the boozer close? Oh, it's all.
Find out where his local is. Phone them up and tell him to shut the door fast, and he'll come wandering on a couple of hours early.
Nice one, Real. Yeah,
straight
come on, Swapswap. Maybe Swapswap needs to go on Swapswap. You know, has tardiness needs alarm clock on Swapswap.
Yeah, I sent him a message, but he goes, "Oh, I'm going out for a run."
I'm running away from my microphone, lest I talk to you. And what about MegaGeek? Photocopy of porn still a demanding business, is it?
Well,
butt cheeks on the photocopy of 3.
I'll say, talk amongst yourselves. Shall I just send him a message?
All right.
Although he was working, wasn't he? Oh my God, Blade Runner.
Oh, good old Blade. I think there's more though. There's other films that well, you know, let's not make the whole thing about me. It's your show today, but I've worked out my lot in life, how I fit into the community, and it's basically looking at certain aspects of films such as time travel. Basically, I know there's got to be what's a catchy way of saying. What I do is I look at the science aspects of science fiction movies and ask, is it really a replicant? Is it really a dream? Is it really time travel? Have you thought it through? Maybe I'll be the annoying professor. That's my lot in life, ruining the science connoisseur, ruining all your science fiction movies. See that Back to the Future? That's not a charming comedy. That's all about, distraught parents and incest. It's terrible. The most depressing film I've ever seen. It's Schindler's List or Back to the Future. They're about the same. I mean, one's a comedy and the other one's Back to the Future. Know what I mean?
Going back to what you said about destroying sci-fi or franchises, I listened back to your stream last night, and obviously when I was letting the cat in, not Brian and Reni.
Yep.
We're talking about, and
Yep.
you know what I'm going to say. It's been a kind of a main feature of both our channels since we've started. And what do I always say? It
What do you
always
always
goes
say?
back to
Nothing without
the chat. Well, it's not. You know that.
only 5 hours later, Leo Honest. Only 5. That's barely the warm up. We barely established where he comes from. Is Deckard from Arkansas? I think he is for the following reason: 5 hours. Barely scratched the surface. 5-hour introduction, more like. You might as well pop open a cold one and relax for it. It's going to be a long ride. Welcome to the 200 subscriber 12-hour Brown extravaganza. We'll do it live. Now the latest cut from Sting from Tantric Wanking. Over to you, Sting. I can't read this. What is this that we're going to play out with, play in, play away, a play date? What the fuck? We'll do it. Is this thing on? We'll do it live.
Yes.
I like it when it's your
Should we do it
channel.
live?
I'll relax. I'll just do the jokes. You do the links. And Brian, you do the recommending.
Speaking of
Today,
links,
not Brian Young recommends. Rebecca
hail
Gold.
MC.
The Last
MC.
fucking Jedi. Yes, MC. Good point. Let's talk about The Last Jedi for a few hours, Brown. Doc Brown,
I
as I'm
was just
going
going to say, on yesterday's stream, not Brian and Reni. Brian was ready to kick off.
The two of us were ready to storm Lucasfilm.
They were pumped. I had to duck under the pillows.
Because you came up with you said something which
He did.
What shite was I talking?
You
I
said
who
something.
knows? Something
just leave
good.
it at that.
Good. No idea what it was. Something. Star Wars. Suspension of disbelief. Star Wars.
Do you remember they changed the title of Star Wars to Star Wars A New Hope? The last fucking Jedi is going to be the name change in about 5 years. Once if George ever buys it back or stays alive long enough.
What, the last movie that Rian Johnson ever made?
No, he still got his
made
trilogy, just not a Star Wars.
He made Knives Out, didn't he, afterwards?
Oh, he did. All right, that joke was factually wrong. I'm sorry. You're right. Last film you'll ever make apart from Knives Out.
Timestamp that, everybody.
Does that work better?
The thinking man's Robert Bynett was wrong.
Yes.
Just timestamp that, everybody. MC, could you timestamp it, please?
I forgot that Knives Out existed, thus ruining the structure.
And Knives Out 2 on the way.
Who? You're cutting out.
Indeed.
But
am I cutting out? Am I buffering?
Watch
I
out!
can hear you,
Watch out! The Canuck syrup slinger is here.
Here you go in the chats.
Knives Up
MC.
Jack C's amazing compared to watching TLJ. That's what we decided yesterday, was it? That you said, not Brian Young, that not only is any movie ever made preferable to watching The Last Jedi, so is having basically a bunch of nails hammered into your nutsack. Was that about the gist of it? Not Brian Young.
Stanley knife straight to the balls, I think.
And then we concluded a Stanley knife straight to the balls is actually preferable to a Stanley knife straight to the balls whilst watching The Last Jedi.
What was the point I was supposed to have made?
What
movies?
Brian, you anticipated my sentence. That's why you will do well on this channel.
Unlike
you was literally putting the words
right out of my mouth. You could have been kissing me with probing tongue.
Brian, you're going to do well on this channel, my friend.
Or indeed,
you're going to do
Marty
well.
And his mother. Moving on.
I don't know about Cockneys, but I think he kind of likes you on his channel.
He's good. He's good. That not Brian Young.
He is. He's not bad. The points.
I like his recommendations.
Yeah.
I always go to the toilet for those.
I think we all do.
That's what I like about them. They're 5 minutes long. You can wash your hands and everything.
Yeah,
come back. What's the fuss? Don't know. Moving on.
I've taught the cat to press the
not
next
Brian Young recommends washing your hands.
Yeah. See, when the graphic appears with the film, he thinks it's me, but I've taught the cat to mash the keypad.
The cats get better fucking timing.
On 15 minutes.
Perfect timing.
Good work, cat. Stephen Amore / would be jealous.
In the chat, how do I timestamp? Well, I don't
read the
fucking
corner
know.
of
You
the
need
screen.
to figure it out, mate.
You just go on 15
Click
minutes.
share.
It's called
Click
an
share
oral
and then click
timestamp.
at the minute and second.
Yeah.
Oh, get you.
Click share, and then you get an aging woman going, "If I could turn back time."
Do.
Are you going to tell me the sensible point I made? Because I don't make many, and I'm on tenterhooks waiting for this one.
I know. I
What's
can.
the
I
sensible
can. I
point?
can
Can you
hear
remember
the. I can hear
can
the
you describe
edginess
the
in
point?
the. I can hear
Voice.
the
tensions rising.
Well, no. I can hear the. What's
like
the
your
word I'm looking
subscriber
for?
numbers. I don't know. Orgasm? Normally.
No. The tension.
Oh, I know what it is.
No.
What's that word? When
The
you
anger?
hear what the word?
No.
When you're trying to think of a word? What is the word to describe of this? You know, when you're looking for a word, you don't know the word. There's a word for that. And if you can't think of that word, that means what is the word? What is the word for this thing happening? Lepidoptera or something? The word
possibly.
There's a word for the feeling of exasperation and frustration when you're grasping in your mind, knowing for a word that you know exists in your head, but you cannot find. There's a word, and if you can't find that word, yeah, exactly. It's this. What's the word for this? I can't think of the word. There's a word for not thinking of the word. I know. I'm trying to think
in
of
the chat, he's got it. Thingy me bob.
Job. No, it's
Yeah.
Ujima flip.
What you call it?
Ujima flip.
Gabba Gabbanay says,
Greetings, wankers. All right, Gabba Gabba. Nice.
That's the name I came up with for the people in our community, wankers.
That's right. Oh, that's going to be my groupies, wasn't it?
Your groupies. Well, I think yours is the Battle Wank channel.
You know, they're all. You have the blondes, I'll have the brunettes.
Okay.
Lovely.
So going back to The Last Jedi, like it always does, before Brian's head explodes.
Clean off.
He said yesterday.
Did he?
He did.
Is it?
It's like Groundhog Day.
Yeah, but am I bothered? It's like Groundhog Day.
Are you bothered? Are you bothered?
But am I bothered?
Are you bothered?
You blow up the bit. You blow up my Death Star. Am I bothered?
No, you're
another Death Star. I'm not bothered. I had it blown up on purpose. It was deliberate. Am I bothered? Got another Death Star. I'm not bothered.
How the fuck do they build them so quick?
So quick. With deliberate.
So quick.
Anybody
started building it.
That's what she said.
In Revenge of the Sith, and it was only just finished.
Took 20 years.
That's 19 years.
One, even bigger, 6 weeks. Union Labour.
So does that mean they actually had 2 on the go at once?
Build me a bigger Death Star with an even larger.
Only when it was kind of retconned.
Vader wants a big red button in the middle saying, "Push me to blow up this Death Star." That's right, Vader, but it's not part of the plan. Make it accidentally blow upable. An even bigger thermal exhaust port. That's right, Lord Vader. Clearly, the first Death Star was blown up on purpose. Let's all go. I didn't really die in Jedi. I blew up into a billion pieces, and here I am. And you know what? Furthermore, I'm not even going to explain why, because nobody fucking cares. Good night, everyone. Thanks for your money. Thanks, Disney shareholders.
MC in the chat says health and safety was shocking through, though on the Death Star, no handrails. Shocking.
No hard rails. And no grill over the thermal exhaust port. That's the big one. No handrails. And it can blow up if you so much as look at it. There's that. But yeah, you worry about the handrails, MC. It's fine. Where's your DJ?
Going back to Last
Jedi.
Brian's point yesterday, I thought was very, very interesting.
What was it?
At the end of Force Awakens, the body language or the look of Luke Skywalker at the end, you knew he was up for it. Moving on.
I thought so. Sorry, I've got my laptop or my iPad playing Club Star Wars, and a very scary video just come up. Confused me.
Club
Moving
Star
on.
Wars drinks are
yes,
free.
You're right. I'm right.
Fun and laughter. There's enough for everyone. All that's missing is the Dune Sea. Don't worry, on Tatooine you can suntan. Ooh.
20 minutes.
Club Star Wars drinks are free. I was just moving on.
It is. So, end of Force Awakens. I'd never thought of it like that. You could just see it in Luke's face. He was up for it.
Yeah, I thought so.
Yeah.
It was left ambiguous enough that he could have gone either way, but you've got Luke Skywalker back. To me, that was it done. Why not just continue?
That's what we wanted.
Let's retcon it. Do you know, it reminded me of remember the old serials, which I suppose it's technically that's what it's based on. The old serials where you would see like, Rocket Man or someone dying, and then they would the next episode they would rewind 5 minutes and he just escaped at the death.
Yeah,
that same kind of idea. I thought
it didn't last long, did it?
That's what she said.
Because we got the stupid gravity bombs in space for about 20 minutes, didn't we, at the beginning?
Yeah, I don't mind that kind of stuff. I mean, he can do whatever he wants. A bit of artistic license, that isn't going to be a deal breaker for me on the film. It's just something else to be annoyed about. But there's so many other problems, I think. I can't believe we're actually going to be doing a Last Jedi stream. Surely not.
No,
your irony is killing me.
We'll put it to bed soon, as soon as some guests turn up, if that's okay.
Is Reni still driving? Hi, I'm in traffic.
Yeah, Reni's going to be on later. We probably should have started this at 11 p.m. But
Rodeo.
Brian, why'd you get so angry at the? I know it's shit, but why'd you get so angry?
Do you really want to know?
Yeah, go on. I don't think you've ever really vented your spleen. You might as well do it and we'll get it out of the way.
Really, I try not. Believe it or not, I try not to vent my venom. I try to kind of keep it under wraps. Several reasons. A bad film's a bad film. You can just sort of ignore it. But it was more the fallout. The film is bad enough on its own, right? But it was the cynical kind of deconstruction nature that it did. I think it not only derailed the trilogy, but it took one of the most beloved characters and basically flushed him straight down the toilet when Luke Skywalker. And I think that's absolutely criminal. You think about how inspirational Mark Hamill's character is.
Yeah.
Things like him visiting the hospitals and everything else. And I remember hearing the story about a little boy that had to, I think he had the big C and he had to have his hand taken off. And he says, I wasn't scared because Luke Skywalker, that happened to him. You know, and how emotional Mark Hamill was relaying that story. And to take something like that and to completely and utterly flush it down the toilet, and then in the aftermath, just about everyone that was affiliated with the media and Lucasfilm to come out and say, no, you're an idiot for thinking that, you're an idiot, and just be dismissed. And then the shills came out and were calling everyone sexist and racist and all the rest of it. So I think if you ask Reni about that, she'll probably tell you more than me.
And it's still stuck because now these days, if you hear people on Twitter before I got locked out of it, talking about Star Wars fans as if they're all Star Wars fans are Nazis. Like, this shit has stuck. Star Wars fans are now a protected group and a group at the same. It's ridiculous. It's
absolute bullshit. You know, rather than them come up and say, we kind of made a bit of an arse of that, we'll try and do better. That's all they would have had to say. But this and what really, oh God, you've got me started now.
No, go on, I want. We need to hear it.
I'm very much a kind of old school lefty from my engineering background days.
I'm an old school lefty as well, mate, but I think no such thing.
Back when it meant something.
Back when it meant something. It's something totally different now. I would probably say I kind of guess you'd probably be the same kind of area as me now, but there you go.
Probably. But if you think back to it's the idea of Disney, you know, a company buying something and running it their way and just saying fuck you to the people that have invested 40 plus years in it. You know, that really fucking, you know, it's like buying, it's like, I think Doomcock said it, you can't just buy the Mona Lisa, draw a moustache on and expect everyone else to think it's great still.
Yeah, that's pretty much it, isn't it? That's what they did. Yep.
So I think it was bad enough that what Disney did, it was bad enough what they did with the sequel trilogy. And this is someone who liked The Force Awakens pretty much. But it was definitely the fallout. It was the fallout and all the ridicule and all the rest of the horrible, horrible stuff that went with it. And even things like, you know, people say, oh, you're a middle-aged man or some kind of bollocks, you shouldn't be getting upset and you're this. But this is not so much about that. It's about, what do you pass to your kids? What do you pass to your grandkids? And I think Doomcock's very much in this kind of line. It's the protecting the kind of legacy of the characters that you grew up with and how special they are and for future generations to see that. and for a company especially to come in and just ravage it to try and get as much money as they can, that's pretty sickening.
Yep.
Moving on.
It's
true though. True.
It's kind of asset stripping, isn't it?
That's what it feels like. And the same kind of thing happened with my football club, and I saw the same thing happening to Star Wars as well. And that was only within about 3 or 4 years of each other. You just see people that are only interested in money. They don't give two hoots about who was there, who run things.
About that.
Just pissed over the previous legacy, and that's both the football club I was supporting and this.
There's actually more parallels between footy and Star Wars or science fiction entertainment than I first realised. They are both being gutted by basically politicians and money men, and
corporate bollocks.
I've always been against that since I was in my teens, joined the trade union and stuff. And to see this same kind of thing happen, and the strange thing is, the people that now associate as being left wing, they are now taking the side of the corporations and stuff. And that is mind blowing to me. Should have started on this. I try to remain upbeat on this, but you've started.
Yahtistophobe, hello Rob. I passed on Star Wars and Doctor Who. I passed on Star Wars and Doctor Who to my kids. Both have gone down the shitter.
Yeah, it's what's it Doomcock calls it? Cultural vandalism, I think.
It is.
Yep, and woke wankery.
Yeah.
I don't mind things being woke, but it's the being woke and giving you a poke in the eye as well.
We've said this many times before. You can have good and bad woke.
Yes, exactly. We like woke. It's good. Early Star Trek.
Superman
is good woke. Yep. Social progression, learning something, thinking outside your original assumptions. But that's different from having basically one character, Burnham, shoved down your throat as the god queen of everything, while actually killing off her crew and actually setting a bad example.
And she can't even hold a fucking phaser. Gabba Nay
can't hold a Gabba Nay can't hold a lightsaber. Not you, Ray. Moving
Disney finally had a franchise for boys, and they destroyed that just to own the rights.
They fucked it. There is pretty much a binary split in every fandom now. Star Wars, old and new, Star Trek, ditto, and Doctor Who. Now, there's other splits. I'm not saying just be binary. Let's have more schisms, more infighting, more argument. Great. All maybe we can all be unified. But it does seem, my experience on Twitter, right up until my ban, same with politics. Everything's just binary bollocks, isn't it? Pick a side, hate the other side. I mean, every time I try and throw out an olive branch, it seems to happen on a Sunday, my time. You try and be nice, and they just start arguing with you. There's nowhere to go.
I think Twitter's probably the worst possible forum for that kind of discussion. I mean, I think we disagree with a lot of stuff.
Shit, innit?
Yeah, we disagree with a lot of stuff that Scotty says, but you can sit and have a civil conversation and
Scotty's all right.
He's sober enough to do it.
You can mute him.
Twitter, you can't do that, and I think that's what part of the frustration you get when you're on Twitter, that end up just saying.
I think Scotty's at a lesser stage than what we're at.
Yeah,
and it'll happen. I will just say in the chat, I'll just do a quick straw poll, if I may. Mr. Angel in the chat says he's 52. MC says, if I've got the right one, he's 50. Old bastard. I'm 52. Cockney, are you what, 27, did you say?
27, but we'll call it 51 for the purposes of this survey.
Bri?
I'm 44.
Baby.
Baby. Rob says he's 53. Real, 45. So we're all of a similar age.
Maybe we've got a catchment Generation X.
And they've just totally
we
raped all our favourite shit, haven't they?
Yeah. Put it in somewhat stronger terms.
The whole bit.
Shall I get the next guest out?
You might as well. I don't know. Is it Scotty?
Is it
Swapshop? Is it
next
up? Photocopier man?
On 30 minutes, good timing. Next up, he's the Jester from Leicester, the channel's very
Mr.
own
Angel, you're quite right, by the way.
interior
Fully agree.
design specialist, novelist, Star Wars fan, and meme machine. Here he is. It's the sweat monster himself. He's been running. He's dripping.
Nice.
Hello, Matthew.
Oh, shall I speak? Hello. How's it going?
Demon, how are you?
You're right, pal.
Yeah, I had to have a few minutes to recover from that run. That was a bit heavy. So humid, it's unbelievable.
I nearly had a heart attack while I was out riding yesterday because it was so hot.
Yeah, yeah. And I had to wait. I waited until the sun went down as well, but it didn't make much difference.
It's horrendous. You're better off going for a run at 2 a.m.
Yeah. Or 6 a.m., yeah.
I will just say Brian has just gone critical mass. He can't take it any longer.
Wow. That hardcore
I'll just say,
chat.
I'll just say, Real Honis, this is the old man complain stream. It is, pal. We're all here. It is. And
Got to do it somewhere.
And what better place to moan?
With an audience to a microphone, quite right. No point doing it to the ex-wife. She doesn't give a fuck. On this
I'm
week,
terribly sorry. I went critical mass there.
This week on Nod Brian Young recommends the 5-minute toilet trip, as I spend 5 minutes precisely talking about Rebecca Gold, giving you time to have a sit down, a peruse of the local newspaper, and a quick wash of the old hands. Yada, 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 Rebecca Gold. Oh, we're back.
This week, Brian Young recommends Andrex.
Other brands are available. That's shut up, Blondie. Driving Mr. Hitler, driving me crazy. Woof! Shut up, Blondie. It's either that or Fallujah Towers. Anyway, you heard me, BBC. I'm coming for your viewers.
Do we want to kind of continue with this conversation or just do a little bit of the week's news? What do you think?
Yeah, let's do the news. Bottom of the pyramids.
Right, okay.
Can we sort our avatars out first? It feels rather unprofessional.
Yeah, bastards.
There's a booby on the screen.
Mine's gone for some reason. I don't know what's happened to it.
Swapshop, you've swapped it out. Has avatar, needs another avatar on Swapshop. Welcome to Swap Pixel. Pixel values being swapped around until a graphic appears.
On this shitty computer.
Become Marty, because you've got Doc Brown up there. So you've got Rick and Morty, Doc and Marty. Brilliant.
Well, I've got Marty, my cat.
Well, that's no good, is it? We need Marty the human from, Back to the Future, with a body warmer. We've got to talk about Marty, an influx of the space-time continuum, a negative reality inversion. Brown has not thought it through. Not you, him.
Oh, look who's here.
Here we go. Ugly Superman.
Who's here?
Stephen Metsamore, King of the Ampersands. Brilliant. Oh, do I have to read it out?
Can I read it out?
Please, read it out. Go on.
Stephen Amore in the chat says, so StreamYards, the $15 option is good. The next one up is when you know the cash is coming in.
It is.
Hashtag $300 super chats.
Yeah.
So
be nice to get a couple of those.
Everyone out there, you never know when the cash is coming in. Cash is never in until it's in. There's always people talking about cash coming in, but I've yet to see it. Cash coming in, by definition, is cash that has not yet come in. Therefore, it does not get
Who's
killed.
the daddy?
I'm the fucking daddy now. Be very, very
Have
quiet.
a bang on that.
I'm hunting replicants. They're Nexus 6 now. They look just like humans.
Cockney, you're going to go far.
What's that, Blade Runner?
You're a very funny guy. You're a very funny guy.
Hell, like a clown. Like I'm here to fucking amuse you with your 200 subscribers. And
What's that line? What's that line from Goodfellas?
What the fuck is so funny about me anyway?
On 35
like
minutes.
Clown? Like I'm here to amuse you. How am I funny? Like I guess the
in the chat says I've given up on TV. Same here.
Oh, yes, me too. Especially since my area got nicked.
In the chat, Stephen Amore. We had massive hailstorm yesterday. I picked up a hailstone that was 1 inch
hailstone
diameter.
Could you not spell out the number 1 O-N-E? It's not that. I know it's.
That's your channel, though.
Stephen, yeah, it's still my OCD eyes. I mean, he literally calls himself an editor.
Say things at the same time. Fucking hell.
Fine, I'll just look away from the screen. Here we go. It's fine.
Blasphemy and bad grammar is permitted on this show, I believe. I don't know how I don't know where Mr. Brown stands on swearing.
I'll do you a deal. I'll stop going on about the can I, may I? Because I know
I like it. Carry on.
But can they not spell out the word? It's just, once you've read the rules of type,
bone idle, isn't it?
You cannot unread them. I didn't make the rules, did I? You know what I mean? Ignorance is bliss. Typesetting is pain. It's a world of pain. But,
listen, guys, if I've done fuck all production and effort for this show, I expect you lot to at least be able to spell things correctly.
Yeah, get your RGB conflated with your CMYK, your PPI with your DPI.
There's nothing that guarantees new subscribers more than a damn good thrashing about one's grammar on the chat.
Welcome to O-Level English. Oh, back in the good old days, O-Level. Oh, we used to dream of O-Levels.
Real Honest, I can't spiel. We all can't,
I can't spiel. I can't dance.
Oh, MC, I envy you. MC.
Gel. Oh, me too. Yeah, I've only got the last 2. Can't watch it. Well done. The box set.
MC.
Good work, MC.
I applaud you. That is outstanding work. I've just bought the Banshee box set. Wow.
I've only got the she. I'm missing the band. For once.
MC's chat messages are so good. I'm beginning to think he actually comes with the system software.
Nice. Lucky MC. Lucky software.
You are correct. You are correct. Hail Andy Masterson.
MC is indeed the sticky glue that holds our channels together.
You are correct. Do you remember when we did the Indiana Jones 5 and the Die Glocker stream?
Who are you? What happened? When? You're talking about memories.
MC was doing some fantastic comments in the chat, and I even mentioned it on a pinned quote for people to look out. Some of the stuff he comes out with is piss funny, and MC, you truly are the wingman of both channels. Agreed, Cockney?
He's a wit. Yep, we're nothing without our chat.
As a guest, really, I think.
We're nothing without the chat, but with MC, we mean it.
Well,
Demon, would you be up for a possible UFO/conspiracy stream next week sometime?
I'm always
managed to guarantee the services of who.
Get Cardinal Sin onto. He'd be right onto that one. Loving it.
I'm always up for that. Yeah.
We've got another guest turned up. Shall we get him in?
Uh-oh.
Here he is, the man himself, the guy who got me into all this streaming malarkey.
Because you are gold.
No.
Always. Oh.
It's one of his mates.
Wrong one.
He is the proprietor of the Spacebook channel.
Hey!
The best Doctor Who stroke, should we say popular culture stroke sci-fi stuff, Demon?
Yeah. Stroke. Stroke.
That you've never heard of. And I will say he produces some mightily fine stuff. Shall we get him out, Swap Shop?
Please, unzip him and flop him on the table.
Here he is, ladies and gentlemen, the wonderful Daniel Hadley.
I've flopped. I've flopped them. I'm all flaccid and laying across the width of this virtual table.
Oh no! Don't say you spent already.
It looks that way. It's very, very late, and I'm somewhat withered, gentlemen. Somewhat withered in the heat. I need stimulation. Thank you for that introduction, Mr. Brown, and congratulations on hitting this big old number. I was saying to people earlier on. In fact, I've said it quite a lot the last few weeks. YouTube It's not as easy as it looks, is it?
It's not.
But it is a lot of fun, and I know you guys have a lot of fun on this channel, chewing the fat. And I mean, I know you must. The off licenses. Sorry, they must love you. Because but yeah, well done, everybody. I hope you're having fun. What's on the agenda tonight? The big blue and red one.
Last Jedi.
Yeah, we're just going to talk a little bit about what's gone on this week, and then just ramble on a little bit.
Ramble away, yeah. I thought I'd stop in for a little while. It's getting late, but it's the kind of night where, as you can tell, I'm talking absolute nonsense. It's the kind of evening where it's very difficult to sleep anyway. So I thought I'd come and irritate you guys. Yeah.
How's your channel?
Dan, this is the first time I've spoken to you, but I've enjoyed your show over the last couple of months.
Oh, thank you.
Very well done.
I'll come again. Thanks very well. Yeah, it's I'm glad you enjoyed it. What's your name? It's very small on my screen. I can't quite.
It's not Brian Young.
Yeah, it's soon to be changing. Don't worry about it.
Not Brian Young. Okay. Yeah. Thanks. It's nice to meet you. Not Brian. My dad's name was Brian. It's a great name, Brian. Yeah. Well, cheers. And yeah, I'm just pleased that people watch and listen and do whatever else. Yeah.
How's the channel going? Is it going good?
Yeah,
we're ticking over.
It is now that I'm back. As Matt here will attest. You know, I had some problems, major tech problems early in the year, so I couldn't make anything for 2 or 3 months. And
wow,
yeah, that was hard going. You know, when when you're growing a channel like this and a platform like this, because YouTube moves quickly, and of course I'd got things booked as well. You know, because I say this loosely, but I do sort of proper interviewing people too for other stuff.
We know
and
you do.
Yeah, it really kind of threw a spanner in all of my works. It took it took a couple of months to get things anywhere near back up to. And I'm still not quite back up to speed with it because obviously I've got a day job as well. But you know, it is what it is, as they say. God, I hate people who use phrases like that. But,
It is what it is.
Are you saying it isn't what it isn't? Is that what you're saying?
I think that's
it was what it was.
It was what it was, and it is what it is. You're right, Cockney. Good to see you back on the channel. Are you behaving yourself, sir?
No.
Excellent. I thought I'd have been disappointed if you'd have said otherwise.
Yeah, but it's Deckard, a replicant. Come on, let's talk about it. You and I have had this conversation.
No, and there's a very good reason for that. In fact, I think myself and Mr. Brown have talked about this before, because I haven't seen Blade Runner for about 35 years. So
Get the fuck off of this channel.
I hated the film as a child. I found it a crushing disappointment.
I think we all did.
And then
I loved it.
I think it was because he looked like Indiana Jones, but he's miserable all the time. And
indeed.
And so it didn't light my fire. I saw it again. Actually, it probably would have been the early 90s when Ridley Scott first started dicking around and they let him put a new version of it out. And I turned it off halfway through. I found it unbearably boring. But, you know, my son is a big fan of it. It was the inspiration for his short film at university a few months ago.
Wow.
And so I've sort of promised him that I will not only go back to it, because seriously, I mean, I know that this is a big thing about is Deckard a replica. You know, I haven't got a fucking clue. No, do you know?
That's good. Well, do you know what?
Because
neither is Burnett, but that never stopped him talking about it. So well done.
I don't know the plot of the film.
Answer.
I don't know the characters. I don't know anything about it. So when I come to it and watch the sequel too, then I will do it with as blank a slate as I think anybody possibly can have to an iconic 40-year movie. So I say this with my tongue in my cheek. No spoilers, everybody, for the 40-year-old film, please.
No spoilers. I will say, Dan, maybe get your son onto Cockney's channel sometime if he's well into his Blade Runner.
Yeah, well, yeah, I have no idea how he feels about that question, but I would imagine that he talks
out very quickly.
Yeah, it's one of those perennial questions.
Look who's here, everybody!
Hey,
Here he is.
Here he is.
Go.
Sorry.
No, sorry.
Good evening, mate.
Sorry, I had to put the headphones on. Hello, everybody. How you doing?
All right. I'm wilting.
I think it's warmer than yesterday.
It's almost 30, apparently.
Oh, it's going to get warmer tomorrow.
Great.
Yeah, I'm really tired, so I'll try and keep up.
Yeah.
No Shatner talk for you then tonight. I'm just going to go bang, 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 bang.
Okay. Oh, shit. What have I lost? Sorry, I'm trying to do two things at the same time. Sorry, guys. Carry on.
Multitasking.
So what?
Yeah.
So what do
Stream
you?
killer.
What's your thing? Not Brian Young. What's your main geek interest?
Star Wars.
You're a
Star Wars and
guy.
complaining is essentially my two kind of things in life.
Well, it's one and the same thing, really, in the 21st
Luckily,
century.
they do go hand in hand these days. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, Kathleen, for that one.
Brian is he has very strong feelings on The Last Jedi. Don't you,
I'll not
Brian?
go back into that again. It was a bit of a man at the start.
And he's
the last
from
2 months.
Glasgow as well, so that's a deadly combination.
Don't punish Brian.
Thanks, Ian. Moving on.
Yeah.
Moving on. Have you been working today, Ian?
Yeah.
Corporate stuff?
Yeah, corporate stuff, and just went on and on and on. I hate it when it
like
goes
stream?
on and on and on. Well, yeah. But yeah, no, it's money in the bank, I guess. That's all it is, really. I want to do more creative stuff, Doing stuff like this, not very creative, but hey, it pays the bills. And I've got a mortgage to pay, so that's why do it. But what's the subject matter for tonight then?
We were just going to do a little bit of the Superman and Lois, which we're just about to do. That's going to be 2 seconds, and then do some of the kind of comic book stuff, mainly Masters of the Universe, because that is dropping this week, isn't it?
Is it?
And this,
Friday.
and that's Swap Shop's main thing, isn't it? So I'm quite glad he turned up.
It's Dan's
So
as well. Well, not main thing, but Dan's a
Yeah.
prominent. So.
I've been stupid enough to speak quite confrontationally about
Told
this
ya.
on a public arena, and I'm about to get egg all over my face and shit, piss and jizz. I suspect between now and Sunday.
Yeah, because
Told ya.
I
did tell
briefly
me, you
looked at
warned
your
me.
upload this evening,
Yes.
and I think there's a quote in there that's you said it'll be all right, it'll be okay.
Yeah, that sounds like the sort of thing I'd say. Yeah.
Jump in at Shadow is his favourite
yeah.
thing.
Yeah, yes, it is. Yeah,
Yeah,
we
it's
get that hashtagged. Yeah, I mean, Ian's quite right. And Matt, I think you were there at the time, weren't you? When I was,
Yeah.
I don't get bolshy about anything. I don't. But I was fairly confident in this show, and with good reason, I think. And even all the stuff. It's all right. I am very tired. So I'm stumbling over my words. Even all the stuff with Tila, that didn't. If that is true, and I'm still not convinced that it is, that didn't put me off either. The fact that they were going to sort of lean into that, I thought, well, okay, there's five episodes in this first block. Well, that's plenty of screen time for everybody. It's an animated show and it looks fun. It's beautifully made. The thing that's got to me, Mr. Brown, is the thing that's got me screwing in that red light bulb for the old red alert. It's the Orko business. I think that speaks of a man who has been not only who bullshitted by making out that he was a big Masters fan. I don't mind that. Most of them are bullshit artists anyway. I don't need my program makers to be experts in the backgrounds of everything that they take the reins of. But
Dan, can you explain the Orko situation for the
Yeah, I was
people
going
in
to
the
say,
chat?
the Orko.
Idiots like myself that don't have a clue what's going on.
Kevin Smith has.
Spoiler alert.
He believes. I won't tell you about the plot, but Kevin Smith seems to believe that the fan base for Masters of the Universe have always hated the character of Orko, and that they always thought he was too naff and a babyish character, and that he was irritating. And although that is true of a lot of sidekicks in 80s and 90s animation, I'd say Orko was the exception to that rule. And I can't believe that Kevin Smith, more to the point, Kevin Smith and his writer's room, that no bugger knew about that.
I find Kevin Smith kind of babyish and slightly annoying at times.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, he is. But he is. He is also. I won't say a creative genius, but he is a creative force, and he's written some great stuff, not just
certainly his early stuff,
but for comic books as well. I mean, if you remember, if anybody ever read that Daredevil run that he put together, I mean, it was perfect. Same with his work on Green Arrow.
I think what happened was that he got offered a job on Supergirl, and he really needed the work because he wasn't getting any work. So he got offered a job in Supergirl to direct a couple of episodes of Supergirl, and then he ended up sucking up to the CW, and that's how he got indoctrinated into this kind of woke rubbish. Yeah. So, but he needs the work. It's obvious he needs work. He's not getting any work at all, so that's why he's sucking up. But I'm really upset with Kevin Smith because I really like Kevin Smith, and I think he's just sold out. Personally, that's what I think.
Clerk 3 coming up, isn't it?
I think he ought to realise that it's not 1998 anymore, and that we are able to talk amongst ourselves and put 2 and 2 together and come up with 4. We don't need either those big Hollywood types or guru type figures like him to do the old sort of Wizard of Oz routine. I like movie magic, and Mr. Brown, and I like my directors and filmmakers to have charisma and to weave their spell. So I don't want to know everything about all these projects, but when it's quite obvious that you've not only been bullshitted, but that they've been through the entire creative process with no real instinct for the very people that they have been virtue signaling now to for 18 months, 2 years. God, come on. Yeah. It's disappointing. Very disappointing.
It's Hollywood's situation these days, isn't it? But it's become the bait and switch business now.
Yeah. No, I feel, obviously, because I'm not involved in this bloody show, so don't get me wrong. all I did was take a punt with this, and I still think the majority of it will probably be good. I do, but obviously for a lot of us, particularly, I'm not going to say it's necessarily our age group. I think for a lot of us, this scar tissue is so sensitive, seeing the same thing done over and over and over again, that it's just too much. And even if it's just 3 scenes, that'll be enough for the fan base to walk away. The proper fan base, because I'm a floating fan of stuff like this, but the proper fan base who eat, sleep, and drink Motu, they're going to be out of that door, and they may not even come back for the second batch of this. The second batch of 5 in November, whenever he's going to drop it.
I'm getting closer to Doomcock's way of thinking, in that if you suspect it's going to be poor or there's going to be excessive wokery, that you just avoid it completely rather than have it stain in the memories of the stuff that you love.
See,
that's a horrible situation to be in.
Yeah, I totally agree. I learned my lesson after Star Wars.
Nice.
Sorry, Matt, what you say?
If I'd avoided all the Disney Star Wars movies, I'm sure I'd be a very happy, much more of a happy person than I am, instead of a bitter, twisted person that sort of always after every single time the word Disney comes out of my mouth. So I think
I was looking for a Disney film and I found a film, and heaven knows I'm miserable now.
Oh, well done.
My life. Why does Kathleen release films? Why not rather poke her in the eye?
I mean, you think of the pleasure when we were children, just saying the word Disney. I used to feel the magic on the tip of my own tongue saying that word.
That's right.
And now, all these decades later, it brings such abject and unrelenting misery.
Things like the Star Wars logo, seen that? I saw someone with that Empire Strikes Back T-shirt just the other day, and my usual response pre-Disney would have been, a bit of nostalgia and a bit of feeling. You look at it now and you go, oh, God.
My brother came visiting today, and he was talking about how great Loki was, and I didn't have the heart to tell him it was absolute shit.
It's Loki.
Yeah.
Has he not had a television long, Ian? Has he?
No, he's a huge Marvel fan, and he's a normie. So I wasn't really going to get into one, but
no. I watched the finale of that show, and it made me first. I mean, I spent nearly 45 minutes trying to prise my eyes open, and then during the end credits, just stared at the screen, saying, "Is that it?" over and over and over again until the credits ended. Absolutely horrendous series. Yep. How they're able to get away with it, I have no idea.
I remember
he said it was really good and he liked it.
Pete said that it's called Loki. It's not about one Loki. Fuck off. Of course it is. It's meant to be a Tom Hiddleston Loki. That's what it's meant to be about. That's what we were sold.
Yeah.
And then we get this shit.
That's disingenuous. I mean, like you say, it was supposed to be about this guy. That's why we're watching it. Is he trying to... Well, I won't say Peter's not here to defend himself, but by that measure, are they trying to say that Loki, the plural of Loki is Loki? Yeah, or his missus. No.
Anyway, some people.
Ian was at the brunt end of Pete's missus.
Yeah, she's what they call a firecracker, isn't she? And Pete's a lovely guy, Pete Mealy, but he's a very he's Disney's ideal customer, I think, and fair play to them. But yeah, I think Ian, I agree with everything you said, quite frankly.
Well, he's completely wrong. He went on last time about how Loki's the same Loki from the Avengers, and how he was the butt of jokes, and how he was destined to lose. Yes, we know all villains are destined to lose, but the Loki that we saw in the Avengers, that killed Coulson, that actually manipulated the Avengers, is a completely different character. And I wasn't about to challenge him on that because I know that he'll get really angry.
Roy Batty says, "Hold my drink."
But yeah, I mean, you saw me. I just let him talk, and I wasn't even going to counter because I know that it was pointless countering. Because when somebody's convinced of something, there's no point even challenging them because then they're convinced, no matter what you say, no matter if you throw logic in them.
It's the same kind of gaslighting that we had with Luke Skywalker, that's so consistent with the previous character, and you're just tearing your hair out,
When people get so vociferous, and you can see the rage in even the most usually agreeable people's eyes. Do you think it's because they're trying to convince themselves as much as
yes?
Could be kind of almost like a form of Stockholm syndrome. They just can't believe this has happened. So they're just going to some of the I hate to say the word shills, but people who are kind of aligned with that, I can see it almost in them. They're almost victims.
My Twitter profile. My Twitter profile has been besieged by an angry Jodie Whittaker fan this evening, trying to convince me that her merchandise is selling and that people love her really, and and I think I was just going on and on and on and asking to see evidence of this and evidence of that. This is what I mean. I can't speak for you guys, but I'm not a leftist, and this is what really annoys me about particularly the far left, is that they continually put you into these corners and then challenge you about basically thin concepts that are of their construction. They were deliberately constructed to be thin and to be abstract, and they try and build this sort of greenhouse around you, and then try to get you to define something that they know is an abstract or thin concept. It's so disingenuous. They're not fit to debate in the same clean air as anybody on any side of the rest of the political spectrum.
Hello, Dan's woken up. He's not placid anymore. He's erect. He's going for it.
Yes,
the thing is, I don't care. I don't care what other people think. All I can tell you is what I think, and that's why I said never challenge Pete, because I don't care. I don't care if he believes in that or not. It really makes no difference to me whatsoever. It really doesn't. So there you go.
As Brian earlier on, before you guys came on, going back to Dan's point about the lefties when we were young is certainly different than what lefties are today.
Yeah, I agree. And I don't like saying that. I don't like when I said that. It's I'm something
not for the better either.
I say reluctantly, because I never considered myself to be. I've always thought of myself as a liberal, what they now call a classic liberal. But of course,
Yeah.
in the eyes of the left, that makes me a Nazi. So a Yahtzee, I should say.
Not a racist.
Yeah. So I was listening to somebody talk a couple of days ago, and they said that nobody is what was the expression? Nobody ever chooses to become a conservative. You are made into one. Other people decide whether you're a conservative or not.
Nice.
Oh, that's probably true. Club Star Wars. That sounds like a club that you would all the waitresses would be green. Oh God! Now when we're talking about all the waitresses now would be blokes, wouldn't they? Of course they would if it was a
And
Disney
the French
franchise.
maids would be
Wouldn't there be trans?
Yeah, that's a great logo, Club Star Wars. Love that. Yeah.
You've got a very professional setup, Club Star Wars. They were on tonight.
They couldn't give away Daisy Ridley figures red letter.
Well, she started it. She's
Rodeo,
Rodeo.
like, subscribe,
Daisy?
whatever.
She's in a film with the guy who plays Spider-Man, is she
I'm
not?
driving home, you
Yeah,
fucker.
she's in. I can't remember what it's called. It looks that exciting.
Can't remember what it's called. Something about she could read men's minds or something like that.
Well, can't they all?
I'm still surprised.
Here, mister.
Another sexist remark by Brown.
Somebody go do it.
Brown.
I do.
It's not, that film with, it's not that film with Tom, what's his face in it, is it? Tom,
From Spider-Man.
Tom Holland,
yeah.
Oh, it's supposed to be dreadful. It's supposed to be dreadful. They actually they delayed its release to reshoot it or re-edit it or something because it was so bad, and then they ended up releasing it, and people were reviewing it saying how bad it was. They were saying,
Chaos Walking. That's it, Demon.
That's the one. And they said, if this is the improved version, then I hate to think what the original was like. So it was, I think it's just vanished, doesn't it? And it's just been turned over into the grave, and no one remembers it. It was released like a few months back, I think.
Chaos wank.
Wasn't released. It escaped.
Daisy Ridley acts her way out of another paper bag.
Barely.
Never mind reading minds. I'll be surprised. I'm still surprised that she can read a script. To be,
But to be fair, she's not a
with a
bad
lightsaber.
actress. She's not a bad actress. I think she's got depth, but she's just given crap material. That's all. I think
She hasn't got the
not
range,
bad.
darling. She hasn't got the range.
We'll see.
got
We'll
the
see in the
range.
next series film that she's
Diamonds
in.
are forever. She hasn't got the range.
Do you think she'll
darling.
get
She hasn't
in
got the
a
range.
serious
Yeah,
film?
of course. She's in
Like
the
a
club
bad
now, isn't
sniper,
she?
hasn't got the
So
range.
that's how it
Hasn't got the
works. So
range.
you're in a
Diamonds are
club.
forever.
They definitely, they definitely offer you another.
Yeah.
Yeah, they'll offer you another script. So, yeah. I mean, look at what's his name? Boyega, whatever his name is. What's his name?
Boyega.
John Boyega. Yeah, he's
F127.
slagged everybody off, but yet they're still offering him work, aren't they? Because he's in the club now, isn't he?
I like Boyega.
Yeah, so do I.
Yeah,
Put
he
him on
was
poster.
great.
Make
He was another
smaller.
one that was kind of done the dirty.
But he walked off a film the other week, didn't he? Because he's apparently just woken up to everything, hasn't he?
he is a gobshite. There's no doubt about it, and he has got an ego. But I think that he has got integrity too, and he knows when he's been shafted. And I think we can all relate. We can all relate to that.
Yeah.
I like to get kissed before I get fucked. You know what I mean?
Cockney, do you want to read
Moving on.
Stephen Amore's comment?
No, I'm sick and tired of reading his shit. You do it.
Sorry, it's not his comment. His
It's
thesis.
Steven, that's Amore. 1-800 accountants and go. Do you feel that you can't do your numbers while you're on the run, trying to catch that train whilst trying to figure out the square root of 69? It's 8 something. Then call Stephen Amore. 1-800 accountants and go.
You don't want to read the comment then.
All right, go back to your bourgeoisie trust fund accounts and go on about how to empathize with with whoever you read about
in the
Jim, the guardian of
Today.
forever. You cannot erase a fucking timeline, Marty. Where are your parents? You're in the wrong universe, Marty. You're in the wrong fucking universe. Go back to your loser family, Marty. You're on the fuck off, Marty. No one wants you here.
Is
I
it
want
all
my
week?
Marty.
Dear.
No, dear, oh dear. He's done it again. Cockney, what you on, Cockney, you weirdo? That only you. 1-800 photocopiers.
Do you know what, Cockney?
Do you know what, Cockney? You've lost.
Do you know what, Cockney? Listen,
I tolerate your conversations about playing.
Hold on,
but
Cockney.
No, go on.
Cockney, listen.
You constant interrupt.
I think I've got something to please you. I've wanted to say something that will please you. Basically,
what's her name?
I was watching Back to the Future 2.
Me as well.
And the theory. Hold on.
Kiss you.
Let me finish.
Sorry.
Let me
you
finish.
First.
And the theory that you are clinging on to is absolutely right. Do you know why?
Yes! He reluctantly
Let me finish.
Or you subvert my expectations.
Oh, for God's sake, Cockney. Are you going to let me finish? Are you going to let me finish? I'm trying to say you're right, because in Back to the Future 2, in Back to the Future 2, Doc Brown has the he draws the line and he said it branches off into this universe and it branches off to that. So what you said is absolutely right, because Doc Brown proves it in the second one.
The idiot is correct. Thank you, Megageek. Nice. Approved.
So there you go. So
even the stock clock gives the right time twice a day. Thanks, everyone.
Because
there was
a new 1985 created. That means there's a new timeline created.
Yes.
Therefore, what happened to the rest of that reality after
Marty?
It goes in a loop, doesn't it? So as we discussed, right, Marty from Universe A goes back in time, changes time, and he ends up in Universe B. That's why it's Lone Pines instead of Twin Pines. And then that Marty that goes off, he goes backwards in time, and then he goes to Universe C. He creates another timeline, and then it just goes round and round in a circle.
And
that's the way I see it.
Thank you.
We are in severe danger of shooting our duff before Saturday's stream.
Yeah, I guess.
I can't wait
right now,
Saturday.
Tyler Hecklin looks at us disapprovingly.
I tell you what, just the fact that you rewatched them, because I thought, let's be fair. I rewatched the entire trilogy yesterday, as soon as we got off the air, the whole trilogy. I've got Marty on the brain now. I'm ready for Saturday. I'm pumped for Saturday. I'm ready.
It gets very complicated though when you get to
complicated.
The second one, because you don't know what universe he's gone back to, and it's just
they don't know.
Really
he doesn't know. The writers don't know, but we know.
I've heard this talked about before, but not for several years until you mentioned it the other day.
Yeah, it's
we go deeper. We go deeper than any other channels. We go
because Reni A believes that it's a one single line. So basically, he goes back in time, he changes time, and he comes back to the same line.
This ain't no silly on forever, motherfuckers.
Right. But I would agree. But in Back to the Future 2, Doc Brown proves, he actually draws the diagram and he says, because you went here, you created this timeline here. So that means there's branches of timeline, which is basically, what Cockney said is kind of right, really, because Doc Brown actually says it.
Rewind that, everyone. What Cockney said, kind of right.
107.40, by the way.
But the reason why I say it's kind of right is because the original film was only meant to be one movie. It was never meant to be two movies. That's
exactly my point. Indeed.
Matrix, didn't they? They changed the concept of the timeline to fit two in.
The second film breaks the first film's rules.
Yes, it does.
The very fact that Marty and Jennifer are present in 2015.
Yeah.
It's a different Jennifer. She's better looking. Hang on, she's from University. What the fuck?
It's
a different woman.
Kid.
It looks like that woman that had that adventure in babysitting. What the fuck is going on? Anyway, so Stephen Amore says that you only know they're suffering because your Starbucks was too hot. There you go. That was nice and quick, wasn't it? We're nothing without the chat. You know that.
Well, we're not. Shall we
he's a Cambridge
mention
lad.
this?
Please do.
On the screen.
Right now.
I take it I'm the only one who's watched it this week.
The one and only.
Mine probably watched it.
I'm still fully expecting it to go woke, so I'm staying away for the moment, and until this finishes. And then if it's still not woke, we'll start.
If you're talking about Superman, I haven't seen it yet, so I'm going to take my leave anyway.
Don't worry, there's no spoilers. There's no spoilers.
But I'll say again, congratulations on hitting 200. Yeah, it takes a lot of tenacity.
Thank you, Daniel,
to keep going on this. And cheers for the invite. It's good to spend. I know it's only been
It won't be
about
the same
half
without
an
you,
hour,
mate.
but,
Cheers.
Go and watch Blade
But,
Runner, mate. Start with
yeah.
the final cut. The final
I'll
cut.
get it in and
The
I'll
final cut. Only the final cut. Then get back to us. Only the not the directors, not the original. No voiceover. The final cut, Dan. Dan, the
I think that is the one that I've got. The final cut. I've got a double disc of it. Yeah. I'm pretty sure that's the one I've got. Okay, guys. I'll speak to you all. Another time. But
worries, Dan.
well
Cheers,
done,
Dan.
everybody. I'll
Pleasure
speak to you all
talking to you,
soon.
Dan.
Night,
Speak to you
guys.
soon, mate.
Bye bye.
Speak to you soon.
Take care, Dan.
There
That
were
was
5.
Daniel Hadley from the Spacebook channel.
Part-time.
Subscribe to the Spacebook, everybody.
Please
if you haven't
subscribe to the Spacebook channel. I will put a link in the description afterwards. It's the best YouTube channel you've never seen. So there you go.
Very professional. as well.
It is. He is a good presenter. So moving on then.
Cam, he's back.
I will just quickly
Back
mention
home.
this because I'm the only one who's seen it this week.
So handsome.
I know Swapswap is frightened of this going woke. I will say there are small snippets of good woke.
Nice.
But
Good work.
because the rest of the series have been so good, I can deal with it, and genuinely, it's not out of place. And this week's
In
episode,
place. Or
was
11111.
yeah,
is
was
fantastic.
fantastic. It was fantastic.
I was kind of surprised that having not seen it this week for a change because my source let me down. I was surprised he
Ooh.
said it was going to be so good because yet again it looked as if it was the end of another story.
No, it's gone good.
Okay.
It's
Look out for
it's Morgan Edge. It's been turned
Piers
up to
Morgan.
It's been turned up to 11. That's all I'll say. Very
This show goes all the way.
very-
See, normal shows, they go up to 10. This
to
show
the
goes all the way to
to the
11,
20
see?
people who are watching this. This is the best program that you are not watching, or it's the best program on TV at the moment.
Oh, I beg to differ, sir. I've got. I like to, basically not Brian Young recommends. Can we do one of these days? Cockney recommends something he hasn't seen yet.
Well, that's
'Cause I'm all
everything,
up
isn't
for
it?
that. No, there's also Cockney criticised something he hasn't seen. Like Cockney feels ambivalent about Loki.
I would have loved to see
whole
your
hour,
Loki
I
review.
had them going for a whole hour
Yeah,
before
I'd love
Scotty
to see that.
blabbed. Well, you can.
Do you want to tell
So
the Do you want to tell the guys in the stream and in the chat what you did with the Loki review? 'Cause this
Yeah,
was
well,
piss funny.
basically, Black Philip Alvarez does a weekly review of Loki with his certain honoured guests, such as someone you might know from my channel or Brown's, which is Scotty, and his co-host Steve, and also Kylo Ren, who's impossibly called Tim Possible, but he actually is Kylo Ren. It's amazing.
Yes,
There
I saw
we
that
were.
gentleman. I saw that gentleman on the stream. What an incredible likeness.
Yeah, it's
that
amazing.
again,
Isn't
sorry?
he was on the network. But yeah, we had a nice hour-long chat about Loki. Offered
Jen-
my views about time travel and multiple Lokis, and did they kiss each other, and what about the crocodile? Is that going to get a look in? And there's only an hour in that Scotty goes, "Yeah, but Captain, you've not seen Loki." And I was like, the jig. But I had them going, camera angles, direction, the philosophy of time travel.
Brilliant.
And yeah, I'm all about the time travel. Adam go multiple universes, multiple Lokis. If you met yourself and it was a different gender, or indeed the same one, would you give yourself a tongue sandwich? Of course I fucking would. Get right in there. All right, Cockney, you look like you need a bit. Oh, Cockney, you're a good kisser.
Cockney,
No,
can you
are.
read the comment?
I would totally
Can you
kiss
read the comment?
myself. No, I'm busy kissing myself. You're all right. Cockney likes cucumber man. Yeah, here's a top idea, right? Top tip: if you're basically cleaning the house with 3 French maids, don't go, "I'm Pickle Rick." Startles them. Moving on. So what is it? What is the relevance of the cucumber? That is something you see. The subterfuge did not last.
It was
long
the
enough
eye,
for me
wasn't
to
it?
ask. Is that what is it? Is it a neck massager? What is the deal?
God knows. Okay. So
On
moving
Loki
on from
recommends. Yeah, moving
So,
on.
moving on
Don't worry
from
about what I was going to
Superman and
talk
Lois.
about. Yeah,
everybody needs
but
to check it out. It's great.
It's great. It's fantastic. Check it out. No, I recommend
Uh,
this week's, not bullying me way onto a segment. This week on Cockney doesn't recommend something he hasn't seen. Counterpart. I recommend J.K. Simmons' Counterpart. You know why? Ask me why. Ask me why, Brown.
Why do you like Counterpart, Cockney?
Because I haven't seen it, and so in my mind it's brilliant. But I like the subject matter. It's about parallel universes. Parallel universes without the time travel. I'm in. Counterpart this week on Captain Cockney Spock recommends something.
In a parallel universe, would this stream be going well?
It will be going better. In this universe, it's going well, but no snickering at the back from Swapswap. It would have more input from Swapswap and twice the listeners. But unfortunately, we're in this universe where we talk over each other and there's nothing gained. I'll tell you what, though. No, go on, it's your show. Carry on. No, go on.
Oh, thank you. I just thought I'd put some kind of fun Twitter grabs.
Oh, aren't you the fun boy? 3 embodied as one person.
Can everybody see that on screen?
Mm.
Moving on.
Yes. Yes, appropriate. Yeah.
Thanks to all the Amazon customers and employees. Thanks for pissing in a bottle so I could go round and round the earth. Well done, everyone.
I think
imagine giving away half your fortune to your missus and still being able to go into orbit.
Unbelievable.
Sorry, Ian.
He's gone into orbit
to do it as well.
You know where she's gone? Rodeo Drive.
Plus, as I said yesterday on Cockney stream, somebody had paid a stupid amount of money to go on that flight, and they couldn't go because of scheduling conflict. What the fuck?
I was washing my hair.
I just don't understand. You have the opportunity to go into space after paying, say, $40 million.
Well, you wouldn't get much change out of a tenner, would you?
And you can't make it because you're washing your hair. How does that work?
Only one reason you would cancel that. And that
Exactly.
Ask.
I was
Yeah.
I was relying on Virgin Rail. Fuck you, Brent.
The train was late.
Exactly. Manchester Piccadilly. I'm stuck at Manchester Piccadilly. Oh, so's everyone, dear. Never mind. Moving on.
Maybe they just had a better offer to do something else. I don't know.
Well, if he can afford 40 million, can throw away 40 million, then basically, that's nothing to him. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
unbelievable. Okay, so I think Bavon Ormontag is actually subscribed to this channel. So
who?
Bavon Ormontag.
Oh,
is the name who posted that. There are some very, very funny people on Twitter amongst the riffraff.
Oh, don't rub it in.
Oh, sorry, you're not. Are you still not on Twitter yet?
Yeah, just they apparently it's going to be 12. Who cares? Fuck them. Oh, look, it's a Fantastic Four. Did you see that?
Yeah, I saw this today, the Fantastic Four reboot. What do you reckon, guys?
Which one's Mr. Fantastic?
Well, I'll tell you which one thinks he is.
Sue Storm's a bit.
Yeah, I don't fancy yours much.
Yeah, exactly.
I think I liked her in my timeline a bit better. Bit too much radiation, dear. Never mind. I think I liked her even as a blonde.
Who knows what they're going to do with Fantastic Four when they release that one?
Oh God, I don't want to think about it.
Nor do I.
One of them's got to be good.
I reckon Sue Storm's gonna just look not sexy at all. She's probably going to be wearing a paper bag or something, and she's going to be black, probably.
Yeah. Well, they did get Queen Latifah in there, probably.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, probably. Probably. Yeah.
Either that or Queen Latifah will play the Thing. I don't know which.
Yeah, it's not going to be good, is it? Let's face it. So.
Cockney, do you want to read the comment?
If I can, sure. Oh, it's a long one, isn't it? My goodness.
It's Stephen Moray, that's why.
I'm blacklisted by Amazonia, never to work there again. Oh, boo, effing who. I said that up to Cambridge. I said that us workers, not we workers, surely it's we. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Moving on. Us workers needed a union, such as the TUC, to set up a union. I was blacklisted within days. Power to the people. Those people over there, power to them. Says Stephen Amore.
That's what Citizen Smith said, wasn't it? Power to the people.
He did,
Power to the people. Tooting Liberation Front.
Yeah. Okay, so
Has this been released
it's a shame
yet?
Dan's popped off.
No, it's the next couple of
Friday.
days, I think.
I
Yeah,
don't
Friday.
really not interested. I was never interested
neither.
in it when I was young, so I don't know. I don't see why I should
I,
watch this. And
I
Liberation
quite liked He-Man when I was a kid.
also, I saw a video on this, and they are basically, this is like the Calvin timeline version. So this is not the version
Ooh.
that it's not. Yeah, they can't follow on from the ones that kids used to watch when it was first released.
Even
as a
the
cartoon.
He-Man is not immune to multiple timelines.
Yeah.
They're going to have Coronation Street universe now, aren't
And
they?
Wokery,
The shared
yeah.
Coronation
Woke.
Street.
So-
Watchers, Reg Tilsley comes back. Oh, I'm not happy now.
Yeah, so this is a different version of He-Man.
25% different.
I'm going to tell you a new world.
you're absolutely right.
Nice.
I'm going to tell you a new portal.
Who liked the film? Do you remember the film with Dolph Lundgren?
Disappointed.
Yeah, so was
Nothing
I.
wrong with that.
Everything looked great,
Yeah,
but it
Erect
was-
nipples.
it was just lacking something.
Courtney Cox
Right.
looked quite good in it. I kind of fancied it when I watched it. Courtney Cox, but yeah,
It should never have been on Earth, though, should it? Let's face it.
no, it shouldn't have. They didn't have enough money to
No.
do it.
I was going to say, where did the money come from to make it? MegaGeek.
Superman 4, was it? Superman 4?
Yeah,
They stole
rifled.
half.
The quest for piss.
Yeah. Chris Reeves only did Superman 4 because he wanted to do another
Reeve.
movie. And they said they're
Yeah.
going to finance this other movie that he wanted to do. So he did Superman 4 just to get the money for his project. That's why he did it. So there you go. But he did care about it, though. He cared a hell of a lot about it.
Christopher Reeve.
Sorry, Christopher Reeve. Sorry, mate. That's fine. So there you go.
Porthole.
In
Part-time.
the chat, hail Dalek 451. Quick question: why am I marked as a wrench at Reni A? Well, it is my gift to you, Dalek 451. That's why. Moving on. Okay.
But you see that poster, right? It's got He-Man, and if all the rumors are true, and he's only in it for a bit, and then Teela takes over, then this is just cheating us. They're just trying to fool us to watch it.
Teela, take a bow.
I've just realised I've got a wrench next to my name here. I can do horrible things to people. How long have I been modded?
I think probably second time you were on,
You might have told me.
which was about 4 years ago.
Power.
I used to run Doug Stanhope's forum back in the day and caused a bit of chaos. I could destroy this one as well. Complete incompetence.
But I don't think you will because you're on board.
Thanks for the confidence.
I hope.
Moving on.
Moving on.
Tom
Okay.
Paris.
So, Cockney's mate posted this. Can you see who posted it? Ryan Kinnell.
Oh, Skinny Go Balls. All right.
Yeah.
What did he say?
Yeah, it was a kind of a quote from IGN. Prince Adam and He-Man, voiced by Supergirl's Chris Wood, are important, but they really serve as backdrop in a manner similar to how Max acts as a lesser lead in Ferocia in Mad Max?
Yeah, it's
Fury Road.
Fury. It's meant to be Fury. Yeah.
Yeah.
Furiosa.
Revelation draws upon the might and majesty of He-Man to facilitate other arcs. Basically, this is Teela's show. In taking this approach, Revelation can act both as a as a stunning sequel and also a wondrous what if type spin-off for those viewers unwilling to accept some choices as per canon. Then you can see in the big red lettering.
Basically, this is a Teela show. But do you know what, right? Then why advertise it like a He-Man show?
Yep. Bait
No
and switch
idea.
again. Basically, they're
Part-time.
too afraid to announce the fact that it's a Teela show, that Teela is the most important character in it. She's centre stage because they know that it's not going to sell. They know that people aren't going to accept it if Teela's the main character, and therefore they don't have any stock in their own main character. They don't think that their character can carry the show in the slightest. So it's completely disingenuous, the whole thing. They have to lie.
Prince Adam looks a
Thank
bit
you,
kind of
Tim.
soy infested, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does.
Makes
in
Ryan
the
Canell look like
2002
Dolph Lundgren.
Yeah, the 2002
Soy
reboot
infested.
TV show, which was fantastic. If no one's seen that, then go and watch it because that's going to piss all over this show. Prince Adam in it was still masculine, but he was like much more slender and dressed in the traditional clothing that Adam wore in the 80s. But you could tell he was still a man, But they turned him into like a 14-year-old girl. It's it's just unsettling. It's the way his face, he's got eyeliner on. He's like, what on earth are they doing? And they've done it on purpose to completely demasculate He-Man or that side of He-Man. And of course, when He-Man loses and doesn't get to transform anymore, he's going to be stuck as Adam, and then he'll just be this like piddly little girl that doesn't get to do anything. But even
Teela, right? The sexy Teela from the show that I've only seen a few episodes of He-Man. I was never interested in it, but the way they draw it's very sexy.
She looks like Roger Trotter.
And now she looks like I don't know what she looks like. She looks like a man.
L Boy's brother.
Yeah, it's just generic. It's just a generic character now. She has no curves. They've completely accentuated her breasts and her hips. They've made her arms bulky and huge. They've completely taken away all her femininity. Yeah, her femininity's just gone out the window. And she looks like one of the a character with a male character with a side cut, and that's it. And there's like He-Man shoved at the back, sort of completely insignificant. And also,
shoved up
even
the
though Kevin
back.
Smith said this, he said,
I wish.
no. Teela doesn't have a girlfriend. No, there are heavy overtones. Grace Randolph's already seen the first few episodes of the series, and she said that there are heavy overtones in the first few episodes that they are in a lesbian relationship. That black girl right there on the middle left and Teela are in a relationship. So they've everyone saw all this coming weeks and weeks and weeks ago, months ago. Everyone knew what was going to happen. So predictable, and they're completely proving everyone right. And all the time lying about the fact that they're wrong. Nope, everyone's right. And they're just being so completely predictable about this whole bait and switch bullshit that so many IPs now are suffering. This woke plague that everything is catching.
Even
pathetic.
Yeah, even in Black Widow, when Black Widow was young, she had a blue dye on her hair. Now, if that's not a message, if that's not a message, I don't know what it is.
Yeah,
she had blue hair.
Blue hair bad, according to Reni. Blue hair bad, and she said that.
What the hell's that all about? Really? Yeah. Why did she have blue hair? Why
they wouldn't have done that in '95 anyway.
But the thing, as I said, it's so obvious what they're doing. The normies are going to catch up too late, and when they do, they'll be horrified. But
He-Man, this looks more like the audience for the Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Going back to
Janet. Damn it, Leela.
Going back to our previous comments about
it's just a jump to the left.
Let's do the He-Man again. It's just a jump to the left.
Skeletor.
Jump to the far left.
There was going to be
jump to the far right. Let's do the political dance again.
There was going to be a reboot of this show, like about 10 years.
Well done, MC. Well done, MC.
And it was going to be like a really. I've seen some of the concept art of the characters, and they were very kind of Rocky Horror looking. Like Skeletor had like suspenders on and stockings and stuff, and it was really weird.
I'd watch that.
It was bizarre. I thought when I heard about this kind of little mini reboot sequel type thing that they're doing, I thought, well, it can't be as bad as that, And sure enough, yes, it's just going to be the same old woke shite.
Walked out of the Tolkien Society.
Matthew, can you read that on the screen?
Which bit am I supposed to read? In the Grayskull explored more than ever did.
Yeah, I think the highlighted bit. I did a screen grab of this evening, so if you just want to read it out.
However, some of these changes can take the story to some places that will likely bewilder some of these fans. Yeah, I wonder where those places are. I don't mean the fact that some jackasses will inevitably decry the prominence of He-Man's ally and one of the original series' new female characters, Teela, Sarah Michelle Gellar, and basically new character Andra, Tiffany Smith, but rather some truly unexpected developments can't be discussed without spoiling. Yeah, I wonder what that could be. Clam slamming, probably. If I say plot twist,
you say clam slam?
Yeah.
I didn't know what that was, and I realised what it was.
Is that like fucking scissoring? A clam slam.
And that's supposed to be Evil Lynn on the far right there, right? She's completely hair's changed. She's not wearing a hat.
She's on the far right.
She's
to the far right.
Well, she's evil, so evil and white. So she's got to be far right. Yeah.
Why is it important that they want us to know about people's sexuality in kids stuff?
Exactly.
Why is it important?
Yeah, exactly. Someone had a go at me on Twitter a couple of weeks ago about. They said, "Oh, well, I'm sorry, Masters of the Universe isn't good enough for you to masturbate to." And I'm like, "What the hell are you talking about? When is a kid
thing?
Since when has a kid show ever been masturbatory worthy? What the hell are you talking about? What the hell are these people thinking?
Masturbate to Leela, not when there's Battle of the Planets.
The young kids who do it now.
Hello, Princess. How you doing?
Crack one off to a cartoon character.
Crack one off to Princess.
Back in the day, we would have printed
Jason.
top shelf magazines, whereas obviously these kids, they just go for cartoon characters.
You used to wait for a reach around from 7.
Didn't find it on the top shelf, did you? It's always had to be some obscure
5
location.
fingers.
It was always in the bushes in the woods somewhere, wasn't it?
I was going to say that. I'm glad someone else said that. Didn't have to.
And you'd pull a bit out of the tree, and you'd go, "What's that? Is that an arse? What's that bit there?" No, oh no, it's the inside of someone's elbow. Oh no,
these pages
you go there now. Know the arse from the elbow.
You go there now, and it's pictures, it's torn pictures of He-Man characters clam slamming. That's what it is.
What the hell is this clam slamming business?
Please explain.
Battle of the Planets. Is that extra? Clam
wank versus clam slam.
Is that like?
This is the Clam Slam channel.
Now it says the final round of Battle Wank.
The Clam Slam.
Clam Slam.
Clam Slam round. That's on Saturday, isn't it? Clam Slam. No, it's Grandstand. Sorry.
That's Grandstand.
Grandstand with Dickie Davis.
Please explain.
No, that's Ivy.
Oh, is it? Beg your pardon.
World of Sport.
Again, back to the BBC ITV war. Yeah, okay.
Back to the Clam Slam.
Yeah. So, Clam Slam, please explain for the
viewers out there.
Let's do the Clam Slam.
Use your imagination.
I haven't got one.
Yeah.
Or a clam. Use your clam. I got one of those.
Okay. I was watching a couple of days ago a Studio Ghibli cartoon, and there was a scene in it where the dad was completely naked in the bath with his 2 little girls, and they were naked as well, and they were like having a bath, and I was thinking to myself, my God, obviously this was made ages ago. Imagine if they did that today, you'd never hear the end of it at all.
The dad would be thrown in prison.
Yeah, that's crazy, right? But then again, you had Lord and Hardy. They used to sleep in the same bed, didn't they? In some of their
Malcolm and Wise.
Malcolm and Wise too, yeah.
Bert and Ernie.
Bert and Ernie. Yep. So
Michael Jackson. Moving on.
Oh God. Oh yeah, move on.
Jackson
killed
with the kid from Home Alone.
Killed.
Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? Crazy. I can't stand Kevin Smith now for what he's done. He's really broke my heart. He has, because I think he's very talented. It's a shame that he's gone this way.
He's gone to the dark side, hasn't he?
It's all for money. He's just been doing it to fund his projects. That's all. He's just been pandering to these idiots just to get money to fund his future projects. And he's got a new film coming out soonish, I think.
Clark's 3, isn't it?
Yeah, so he's putting all these woke dollars into that. So I mean, hopefully he'll sort of like turn on them and talk about how woke they are. It's unlikely.
Did any of you see
is using
Tusk that you did?
Yes, Tusk. I saw it.
I never saw that. No.
What a fucked up film that was. It really was.
Wow.
Yeah.
It was literally an idea he came up with on a podcast for a laugh, and he ended up actually making a film.
Yeah, he did. Yeah. It's really horrible.
I mean, who else these days posts a picture of themselves, a collage of their face on social media of loads of pictures of them crying or post crying? Who does that? Like, what's he trying to do?
Cockney used
to cry. How dare you?
How very dare you?
Laughing till I cry. 7 Zark 7 only appears in the USA edit to cover the more violent bits in the Japanese cartoon, says Stephen. That's amore. Using the number 7 correctly in this case.
Real in the chat says, sold out, now going to lose out.
Yep, I think there's a lot of people that are going to watch this just because it looks good. But as soon as they realise that it's a bait and switch, because I think there's another part to the series coming out at the end of the year or something like that. I think there's the first part we're getting now, and then there's another so many episodes towards the end of the year, and people are just going to realise what's going on, and they're going to say no to this bullshit, straight in the bin, and no one's going to watch the rest of it. And I totally think that's going to happen. I really do. Everyone's going to be brought in. The normies are going to be brought in with the gorgeous visuals that are made by the same people that animated the great Netflix series Castlevania. And they've really
Castlevania.
It's just all the effort and work has just been wasted on this because it's just suffered from the white plague. It's just it just goes straight in the bin. I'm not going to watch one episode of it, or I'll watch it vicariously through other people and sit there and laugh. But there's no way I'm watching it. No way.
Vicariously.
You feel quite passionate about that, don't you?
Well, that's why people have to speak out. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
because the more people speak out, the more the normies will reach them. So that's why we have to speak out about it.
I'll be there.
These people have to be brought to account. They have to be called out on it. Otherwise, they're just going to keep doing it.
Yep.
I think they're probably going to keep doing it anyway, to be honest with you, whether they're called out or not. But, someone's got to say something. You can't just let it slide and not be noticed, because this is all part of a much greater scheme that's happening behind the scenes in Hollywood and media and everything. It's all being manipulated and steered in a certain direction to make the general populace think a certain thing. It's been happening for years. It's been happening in adverts. We've all been very anti-male. You watch adverts now and they're still very anti-male. Everything's like all the men are idiots, or they're evil, they're the twats, and the women are always the virtuous, sensible ones, or they're the ones that save the day by the end of the advert. You see it every single day, and it boils my piss. Honestly, it really does, and it's still happening. And on a daily basis, and it's just another facet of that.
No thanks.
Filmmakers have to do what they have to do. Filmmakers, they have to make things that so that females and males are equal. They get equal everything right across the board, and that's what as a filmmaker myself, I always look the stuff that I'm writing now. I always look through it and I go, "Am I being woke here? Am I treating the male and the female in an equal way?"
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? So, and I think that's what we've got to do. Whether it be writing, whether it be writing a novel, whether it be creating something on YouTube, we have to balance that out, because obviously they're not. It's totally unbalanced what they're doing. So
may I give you a minor spoiler for Superman and Lois this week?
Feel free.
Yes, plastic surgery.
Very minor. Superman twatted a woman.
Ooh. Sounds good.
sounds good.
I don't condone female beating up at all.
I know who it is too.
But
Superman. This sounds promising.
And I was surprised.
Just like Indiana Jones.
Had enough of Lois.
I was surprised, because I think maybe if this program was woke central, it'd have gone the other way.
This is very true. If women want to be treated on equal terms or on equal footing, then they've got to take a punch or two. You know what I mean?
And she went down.
Mm.
Oh,
not that way.
Is that how she treated him? Blimey, after he punched him.
She's keen.
She went down in other ways.
How many ways?
Remember Arnie? Was it Arnie talking about Terminator 3, where he's throwing the Terminatrix all over the place, like a ragdoll, saying it's a bit a bit dodgy even back then.
Yeah. But yeah, as I said, I do like strong women on screen, and I do like clever women on screen as well, but not at the expense of making every male stupid and silly and dumb. You know.
Well, it's like when I've been writing this novel, and it's got Ray's a prominent character in it.
Oh, you're writing a novel?
Oh, shut up! And I've honestly,
you're writing a novel.
I've tried to make her like a likable character, right, which is hard because it wasn't a good setup. Yeah. And my idea was that I'm trying to think of a reason why she was so powerful in all this business. I'm thinking, well, obviously she's like special in this way, especially in that way. That was my idea when I first started it. And now after like the other two, after both of the sequel movies and all the other woke stuff we've seen in other IPs and Star Wars as well, I'm sitting there when I'm writing it and I'm going, I can't make her like this. I just can't, because she's just too the key to everything, if you know what I mean. And she's too special. I've got to make her more appealing. Otherwise, people are just going to roll their eyes and read this going, I wish she'd just die already, So I've got to make her humble,
Yeah.
And you can't sort of years ago it would have been quite easy to put a female character almost on some kind of pedestal and treat her like this sort of godlike character, and men and women and
Much like
children
Reni too.
would have been fine with it. But these days it's all like, oh god, we can't make a woman
let the
special
dogs out.
Ruff, you know?
Sorry, Matt. What did you say? Sorry, you got rudely interrupted. What did you say towards the ending?
Sorry.
I just said once upon a time we could have made a female character special in this way, like a kind of a messiah kind of character who's special and sort of saves the day and is the key to everything, and it would have been fine. But you do that these days, and everyone just immediately latches onto it and just says like, "No, woke, it's woke. You just weren't being woke. He's a Mary Sue. She's a Mary Sue." Which is fair enough, you know. But we can't. That's an element of the story that we can't implement anymore. That's out of the bounds now. We can't use that.
Yeah, they've made it worse.
Actually, it's backfired completely because they've completely sabotaged their own movement by doing that.
Yeah.
Speaking of strong women.
Hey guys, how are you?
Hey, Reni.
Hey.
Hello.
All the better for hearing your lovely girly voice.
Oh, you were too kind, and I feel like I owe you one because I really feel like it should have been you and not me on that stream on Saturday. So.
Oh, I was happy just to sit and chat. It was fine.
Thank you, Matthew, for that. By the way, I owe you one, mate.
I know. I felt so bad. I'm like, oh, he's so sweet.
I actually would have dropped out, but I had the recommends, and I know that everybody has to go to the toilet every now and again, and
That's funny.
You know when it's time to go to the bathroom because Brian recommends or not.
Absolutely. Piss break, everybody.
Everyone should just keep the mic on when Brian does that in the future and just hear all this pissing in the background.
Well, the thing I'm afraid
Frank
of is what
Drebin.
if we hear farting and it's not just pissing? You know what I'm saying? So I don't know if I want to hear all that.
In the chat, Stephen Amore, surprised to hear that Superman hit a woman. He didn't. Well, he hit her and twatted her proper. Expect there will.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Chinder.
There's going to be a
Back of
backlash.
the end.
Best thing on TV at the moment.
I think a punch is allowed, but not the slap.
This is how they take down Superman, by being an abusive man, and now all the SJWs are going to cut him down. Is that where we're going?
God. Oh
I
my
hope
God.
not, but that's what it seems like.
I can see the backlash coming. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Even look, if I may just be bold here, I made a film called Bad Day, right, 10 years ago. Right. And within that film, right, I had sexual abuse, right? I had a boss that told off the main female character because she was inexperienced. I had that character, right, end up quite strong at the end, and she was the one at the ending that actually achieved and solved the whole thing at the end. And I had the Claire Goose character went completely mental, but there was no point where one of my female characters beat up a guy, right? There was no point in that. Yeah, Keith keeps complaining that the Donna Air character beat him up, but she didn't. She just grabbed his balls. That's all. And if you grab a man's balls, they're going down. Do you know what I mean?
Sure.
So that's what I'm saying.
Going down.
If you
Again,
if you're brave enough to watch Bad Day, you will see that the balance is completely right in that film.
Yeah,
totally right. We had, you know what I mean? So it can be done, and that was done 10 years ago. It can be done.
Yeah, but you didn't do it with the purpose to take the guy down.
Exactly.
I really do see the CW doing that. They're like, we've got to fit some wokeness in here. How are we going to do it? Oh, Superman's an abuser. Now we can turn the tide against him. You know, and I hate that.
When they started, they were adamant that they're not going down the woke route. They had 2 writers in there that complained, and then they fired them because they wanted to make Clark Kent's parents black. And the showrunner was like, they can't be black. And it's like, why not? It's diversity. It's like, what are you talking about?
That's not the comic. That's not
that's not the comic. Yes, I take my hat off to the showrunner that actually tell them to, get lost.
Paying off.
Oh, speaking of race swapping, have you heard about the casting for Batgirl?
No. What we got? They
had a choice of Leah Thompson's daughter, right?
May I just duck out for 2 seconds?
Yeah, go for it. Yeah, she's redhead, right? So she's perfect. She looks like the character. She's the right build, everything, right? Perfect, pretty much. Actress as well, it's pretty much spot on. Or they had the choice of her, or they had a choice of the girl that played Dora the Explorer in that movie that came out like a year or so ago.
Yeah.
Well, of course they're going to go with option 2.
Yeah, so they've gone for this tiny 4'5" Hispanic girl, right? Instead of this 5'8" redhead who's perfect for the character. So yet another character falls to ginger side.
They don't like ginger. They don't like ginger people in Hollywood.
They really don't. They really don't.
Gingerest
Are they
wave,
really
we're gonna
afraid
have
of
to
that
stop.
rumor of the gingers have no souls? I thought it was just a joke. Just saying.
Yeah,
Sorry.
it's terrible what they're doing to the characters these days. It really isn't, and they're taking someone that's historically been white and then just putting a black actor in there. That makes no sense to me. It's a hand-me-down, and black people should be upset about it. They really
See,
should.
that's how
They really
I feel
should.
about it.
Yeah.
Like,
If they have any self-respect whatsoever, they absolutely should. You're right.
yeah. Because you
It's
would think
money,
that they
though,
would
isn't
want to be an original character instead of taking a hand-me-down from, like, you know, an old school white character that, you know, I don't know.
The
Totally
thing is,
agree.
though, it's money, isn't it? I mean, if you offered a lot of money, you're going to do it, right? As an actor,
Yeah.
you're going to do it. And
Oh yeah,
that's the
because you don't know
thing.
when your next gig's going to come along, you know. So of course,
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Look at Tom Hiddleston.
Yeah. Tom Hiddleston should be ashamed of himself. He didn't need the money. He really didn't.
no,
So,
no,
He
no,
didn't
no.
need the money at all. You know, if I read the script like that and I was Tom Hiddleston, I was like, what is this shit? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I'm not interested in crap
Right.
like this, you know.
He
But,
completely ruined his character. He should have like cared about it at least, you know.
Well, according to my brother, he didn't, because my brother loved it. So there you go.
Oh well.
Yeah.
Yeah, what did your brother say?
He basically said, he said to me, did you see Loki? And I said, yeah. And he went, oh, it was terrific. You know, my daughter loves it. You know, it was really good. But, you know, God bless him if he thinks it's terrific. But for me, he obviously can't see what's going on. And, you know, one day he will, though. One day he will. But, you know, whatever. He's a normie. What can I say? You know?
Yeah, right on.
There you go. But anyway,
See, when Marty McFly from Universe A, right, the moment he goes back in time, he creates Universe B. He's in that timeline. So when he goes to the future, it's wait for Saturday. But the second one makes it worse.
I
Oh
already
my
told you how I felt
goodness
about that
me.
Cockney.
I honestly think right now we are in the Biff Tannen timeline where he got his casino. I think that's the one we're living
yeah,
in.
I think we are.
Definitely where
Wow.
everything goes to shit. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one.
And also, I thought about this. The reason why there's different sexes of a same character in different timelines because we have free will. So if a person goes backwards in time and does something completely different to universe A or B or C, that could change the whole structure of the person's gender, couldn't it? So
Well, definitely
which is
could.
interesting. Yeah.
Free will or
Introducing
free
Mary
willy?
McFly.
Yeah. Well, Brown, you have to bring it down to carry on, don't you? Bring it down to
Carry on, Brown.
again. Yeah.
Carry on up the brown.
Yeah.
Carry on up the brown.
Oh my god, that's not a game of snooker.
I take it we all need to watch Back to the Future 2 then before Saturday.
Yes,
Oh,
absolutely.
yeah.
I have seen
Also,
it.
another
Oh,
thing
my
that's
goodness.
occurred to me about Back to the Future is
Ooh.
in Universe B, Doc Brown knows basically what's going to happen. So
Yeah.
does that mean say Doc Brown deliberately made friends with Marty? So that
See-
because he knows what's going to
'cause
happen
he's
if he's been
met
told by
Marty.
the-
I kind of think so.
Oh.
Like
Absolute.
thinking about it, and like we
Isn't that
talked about
weird?
on Saturday, like when he gets shot, you see no blood, and it kind of looks like the bullets are like going flat, like they do on the bulletproof vest.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Also, another thing that always
So
bothers me, and,
hang on,
and this is
let's consider the implications of that, Reni. What you're saying is that in Universe A, the Doc Brown of Universe A
No relation.
somehow got a warning. But how do you do that? That's almost like a closed loop universe, except we've got two timelines.
take the
That's what-
same
see what I was
footage
saying
when he
about-
got shot when he was wearing it. It's just the same footage. It's a mistake,
Yeah.
isn't
That's
it?
the same
That's
footage,
obvious,
Reni.
yeah.
Yeah, obviously he did die in the first one.
And also,
Doc
how
Brown
comes
is Brown
Marty's
bread.
mother doesn't go, my son looks like that guy I met in the 50s? I don't
Yeah.
know.
I have to ask that too because they played on that in Family Guy. Like,
They did, yeah.
See, Universe
I always
B
thought
is
that.
completely different.
because like
Yeah.
George McFly's character in Family Guy is like, he looks an awful like that guy or whatever, like that
dude
other
from
Marty.
the 50s. Yeah.
Yep.
Isn't that funny? Isn't that weird?
Mhm.
Ryan, I
Universe
want a
B.
word with you.
Yeah. Yeah. It is very weird, isn't it? So,
Rayal Honis in the chat, he says a question
Sock.
I asked. Why
Sock
are
and
I think that should
Marty.
be Doc? Why are Doc and Marty
Well, he
friends?
says sock.
Well, that's the thing, you see, that in Universe A, it's obviously something happened and they became friends. But in Universe B, he probably instigated that friendship, didn't he? Because he knew he had to be
like
friends
all
with
the
him.
other causal loops.
Yeah,
like
but if that's the case,
invention of rock and roll, all the
that means he
ideas to
chased after a
become
little boy
mayor.
for friendship.
Well,
That would be frowned upon.
But yes, I'm saying it's really weird when you think about it, isn't it?
When you think about it.
Yeah.
Who does he think he is? Michael Jackson.
Boom.
It would have made sense if Marty was into science and stuff, and that's why he kind of gravitated towards Doc Brown to learn more. But he wasn't, was he? He was
Not
just,
really. No.
Heavy.
Yeah, he was just into rock and roll, wasn't he? He was into music, and
You wonder what brought them together.
I don't know.
Unless Doc knew that they were going to be friends, like Cockney just said. You did say it, Cockney.
That would be a good sort of a good area to go in and explore, wouldn't it? For another Back to the Future movie. God forbid they ever make it, because we know what they do with it. But if there was, there are other things where you could sort of think, "Oh, we'd love to go and explore that, or go and explore this character."
They're trying to remake it.
Well, I'm sure they're barking at the door constantly, aren't they? Until that, and whoever is it, Zemeckis that says that we're not going to allow it. Yeah,
not until he's brown bread. So,
posting letters to his door on a daily basis. I think.
Yeah, they definitely want to make a sequel to the third one, or do something with it, or
to the
remake
first one.
They need to just leave it alone.
Yeah,
just leave it alone. It's
do a different time travel film that takes a similar idea but takes it seriously.
Well, we saw how well sequels worked for Indiana Jones.
Well, they did the cartoon, didn't they? They had the Back to the Future cartoon, and it featured Doc Brown's sons, as well as him and Marty.
And they too ignored the entire concept of Universe A, where Doc is dead and Marty is missing, and no one gives a fuck. No one cares about the losers of Universe A. Where's their spin-off season, eh? Their own series. Hello, welcome to this week's edition of The Losers of Universe A.
Well, I think the filmmakers wanted it to be one long line, a timeline. I think that's the way they saw it.
I think that was their original intent.
Yeah, original intent. I think, yeah.
And then they come to Back to the Future 2, and Doc explains, "Oh, well, this caused us
branches
to go
off.
course onto a different one."
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
I agree.
So changing the whole concept of the first one, basically.
But I warn you now on my main complaint on Saturday for episode 2 of Back to the Future.
Get it in early,
it's all that bollocks about, oh my God, look, I've had a son that looks just like me. What an amazing coincidence. Just
and a daughter.
And it's too ridiculous. And then in the third one, you got the mum, Leah Thompson, playing his ancestor on the father's side. They're not even related. That makes no sense at all. Ridiculous.
No, talk about the I thought you said we couldn't talk about these until Saturday.
Exactly, that's why I'm just that was a bit of time travel. That was me from the future. He's gone now. Phew.
This is just a warm up for Saturday.
Just a warm up.
Warm up for the battle wank on Saturday, huh?
No, that's Sunday.
That's Sunday. That is on Sunday.
It's clam slamming on Saturday.
What the fuck is clam slamming?
Do you really not know? It's the same thing as scissoring.
No clue.
For crying out loud.
It's just
fucking
like
scissoring.
Or is it different?
It's
fucking
the same thing as
clam slamming.
Clam flamming. Who's eating? Who's got a hot pocket?
Sorry, it's me.
I'm all out of hot pockets.
Moving on. Yahtzee the McFlys are inbreds.
Oh, they're inbred, speaking of sandwiches. Moving on.
Technically, yes. Moving on.
So we've spoken about Superman. What's the next thing to talk about now then, Brown?
The good, the bad, and the Superman.
That's a good question.
We got anything lined up?
Negative.
Oh, okay.
Loki. Let's talk about Loki.
No, let's not talk about Loki.
Last Jedi.
Why give that any?
No.
No.
Recall.
It's open topic. Anything you want to talk about. Anything you want to talk about.
Terminator, because I know Cockney hates it.
Oh, time travel. Terminator. Seek close loop.
Coronation Street.
Oh, brilliant. Parallel the Kelvin Coronation Street. That's right. Knowledge is power, young Curly, in the beta timeline. Right, exactly. Well, I'm from the Wayne universe, aren't I? The Cockney
Speaking of time
timeline.
travel,
Yes.
what is your opinion?
Good segue. I don't have one. You know
What is
me.
your yes,
no
you
opinions.
do. What is
How
your
dare you.
opinion
I
of
haven't not even
Doctor
heard the
Who
question yet.
and what
Doctor what
elements of time
Doctor what?
travel does it use?
Doctor Who. Doctor I'm a
Well,
daddy now.
Doctor Who's time travel concept is basically fucked because it basically
Sorry?
it says. Well, he basically
He
says.
said it's fucked, Brown.
Well, he describes it
Wow,
as
that's
wibbly,
2 on one stream.
He describes it
On
as
mute.
wibbly wobbly. So, in other words, what he's saying is that it's not a straight line; it's all over the place.
Timey-wimey.
It's completely muddled.
But do you feel like he affects the timeline or no?
No, I think that was just an excuse because the crap that's been written about time travel throughout the years in Doctor Who doesn't make any sense. So
I'm trying to neaten it up.
They create this thing where it says timey-wimey. It's all like a big spaghetti bowl. That all
Pudding
timelines
Lane.
are like like
Pudding
spaghetti
Lane
and
was
it's
a
all
closed
over the
loop,
place.
wasn't it?
It's not
Pudding
one
Lane.
straight line time
Time.
travel. That's what he says. That's what I think
That's
David Tennant said.
That's
it in
what
one
she
episode.
said.
I believe
That's
you're
what he
correct.
says.
Yeah, I don't
Multiple,
buy
that's
it
what
though.
she said.
I think the reason why they did it is because they mucked around with it
They
completely.
didn't have a way to explain it well
exactly.
enough.
Exactly.
Yeah,
That's
I
what I
agree.
think. Yeah.
Yeah, because sometimes it seems like everything's linear. Sometimes it seems like it's all over the place. Sometimes
Yeah.
it feels like he affects things. Sometimes it doesn't. I don't count Jodie and will never call Doctor Who a she. So, yeah.
But there's this thing where he says that's locked in time. You can't change that, and that's another excuse. Same
It's
thing
a
with
fixed
the
point. Yeah.
yeah, fixed point in time. You can't change it. And also another thing is it's like an excuse for the sonic screwdriver. They just create the sonic screwdriver so that they could just go over the whole point of opening doors. So he's got a sonic screwdriver, can open doors, and the same thing with the psychic paper as well. To get over the point of how can they let them in? Just use the psychic paper, isn't it? So it's just another. It's like in Star Trek when they say, "Oh no, the asteroid's coming towards us. Why don't we move the F stop to the this stop to the that, and then we'll avoid it." You know, that kind of explanation. That's what it was, an excuse to move to the next point in the plot. Yeah, exactly. So
Absolutely.
I was thinking about something today, actually. Because I saw, I can't remember what it was. I think it was someone was fan art of Darth Vader, and he was looking at his own mask. He'd taken his mask off, and he was looking at the face.
Yeah.
And I thought, wow, I wonder what's going through his head. You know, is it like, this is what I look like now? This is who I am.
Well,
I wonder what people think of me, all that kind of stuff. And then I thought, after that, just out of the blue, something made me think of Matt Smith's Doctor just turning up near him and him trying to use the Force on the Doctor. And I think, would the Force work on the Doctor? Like Jabba the Hutt, it wouldn't quite work because he's like a very different kind of person, isn't he? He's a very different being.
That's a good question. I think the Doctor has his own power, so he would be immune. But that's just me because he wipes people's memories, right?
He does, yeah. He's done
and I think he's kind of temporarily removed from regular reality, maybe, because the Doctor, he could pretty much go anywhere in space and time, so he could, in theory, occupy a place in the Star Wars universe and turn up where Darth Vader is.
That's true.
And he tries to lecture Vader on this, that, and the other, and you can't do that. That's ridiculous. Or he tries to lecture Vader on philosophy of the Sith and his own self-loathing and all this business, because it all gets very deep when you're a Sith.
Well,
and
question for you on that front.
Deep.
So, did you read the novelization of Revenge of the Sith, Matt?
I didn't. I've heard loads of good things about it. I haven't read.
You mean that one, Matt?
Yeah. That's the one. Well done, mate. Well done. You're ahead of me. That's brilliant.
To be or not to be?
Well, if you read the novelization, it does tell you at the end of like how miserable he is, and this is what it feels like to be Darth Vader, and you just feel his sadness.
Yeah,
it's actually pretty good. Highly recommend.
Yeah, that's one thing you don't get in the film is all what they're thinking.
The emotionality.
No thought bubbles.
Right. Yeah,
unless poor Anakin, I knew him, Horatio.
You get robot Anakin, and then literally robot Anakin because he turns into Darth Vader. But
Yeah, right.
Lots of Darth Vader stuff doing the rounds today on Twitter. This was one of them.
I did see that. I thought it was amazing art. That it just evoked a lot of thoughts. And when I saw it, I just thought, I wonder what he's thinking when when he's looking at his own mask. Because you wouldn't really think he'd get to see it that often.
I think he thinks of his lost wife and misses her. That's me.
What if he's trying it on for the first time and thinks, this nips a bit?
But if you watch Revenge of the Sith, you know that's not true because like Palpatine puts it on him the first time in that machine.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I shouldn't have
God, you're
choked
good.
Padme. Oh well.
Maybe
never
I should
mind.
shut the fuck up.
No.
Maybe force choking your girlfriend when she's pregnant with twins isn't a good idea. Oh well, never mind. Moving on.
He didn't actually know that she had twins, though, did he? He just knew she was pregnant. That was it.
But did he? Well,
you know, that's a debate. I know, but I think that he at this point he's so far gone that he's probably just going to think. He's so fueled with hate and for everything and everyone and regret and everything. It's less taxing on him just to keep hating rather than to lament and to sort of be all philosophical and nostalgic about things. I think he's just it beats all those other weaker emotions down with hate and aggression and you know, much more stronger violent emotions. So I think he's just looking at the mask and thinking, this is me now. This is who I'm going to be.
You know what
and
he's
remember,
thinking.
when you're
I
the
know
villain,
what he's thinking.
you think
Go on,
everybody
you
else
talk.
is wrong.
Yeah, go on.
Yeah.
They're evil, not you.
That's it.
You're the good guy. So
You know what Vader's thinking.
He's thinking.
You know what Vader's thinking.
That mask really needs a clean.
That was even better than my one. No, you know what he's
who's
thinking.
gonna rub my helmet?
I spent all that time and energy making a wanking droid 3PO, and I left him on Tatooine with no doubt with Uncle Owen. I wonder if he's down there with Uncle Owen having a 10-year reach around. Know what I mean? 3PO, I can't believe it's you, 3PO. After all these years, remember those furtive glances around the dinner table, 3PO, you and me, when Aunt Beru's making the coffee, when she's not looking, she's busy getting that blue milk out of the fridge.
Disturbing.
You gave it, right past the back of the moisture evaporator, 3PO. Remember those furtive reach around 3PO? 10 years of golden hand jobs, 3PO, before you're whisked away. And then now you're back. What an amazing coincidence. Praise the Force.
So
what an amazing, unlikely coincidence. It's almost as if this story wasn't written in one go. 3PO, you're back on the moisture farm. What's that? They wiped your memory. It's a good job after those reach rounds, 3PO. Your hands were so sticky and your eyes were dry, and they had to wipe your memory. You're back, 3PO. Oh, what a miracle. Oh, look who it is. It's that droid made by Darth Vader. Oh, I'm sure no trouble will come of this. Come along, 3PO. Know what I mean? They wiped 3PO's memory, but they didn't wipe Uncle Owen's. He was there for it. Moving on. Doesn't matter. That's what Vader's thinking. I left 3PO behind on Tatooine. I'll tell you what, if I ever have to stop by on Tatooine, I won't bother going down to the planet's surface myself. I mean, apart from the fact that my mother's buried there, doesn't matter. It's not important. No, yeah, I grew up there, but no, and I do generally like to go on planet. But I'll tell you what, Tatooine, I'll give it a miss. You know why? Sand fucking gets everywhere. So what? You send a search party. It's fine. It's not important. I'm sure there's no one important down there. Like, I don't know, my son. Anyway, take that chick away. I'm sure she's not my daughter. And I am strong with the Force. I know exactly what's going on. Right, move along. How's that Death Star going? Is that all right?
Do you think Palpatine played tricks on him and like emptied a little test tube of sand into his suit without him looking?
That's what it is.
Practical jokes.
A little bit of sand. That's it. Fuck you, Vader.
It gets everywhere. How long has it been since I've been on Tatooine? That bastard sand is still finding it now.
I would not doubt it.
I tell you what, I don't like those sand people. They're coarse.
I'll tell you what.
They get everywhere. I hate sand
can't say sand people anymore. Can't say that. It's racist.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. It's Tusken Raiders. You can't even say that anymore. Moving on.
Matthew, how's the novelization going?
Yes.
Oh my God. Yeah. I'm not making like forward progress at the moment because I've gone back and corrected loads of things. So just to make things easier to read and to make things make more sense, because when you're just blurting ideas down on paper, you don't realize how much of a word salad you're putting down, and only you understand it. So I've gone back and tried to read things and gone, oh, what the hell was I writing there? I know what I was writing, but if anyone else was to read it, it'd be a nightmare for them to understand it. So I've had to try and go back and make more sense of what I've written, and just to trim it down a little bit. You know, when someone makes a sculpture and they just chisel off all the extra bits of stone. And then they look at it and go, well, I can kind of see the shape of it, but it's going to need a lot more bits chipping off yet. It's kind of at that stage, if you know what I mean. So, yeah, that's what I've got to. I stopped at the forward progress bit of this really, really good book, and I'm really proud of it. And I'm really proud I thought of the idea. Wow. And yes, the world between worlds is in the story, but it isn't used in the way anyone expects it to be used.
What? And I do have very specific the what? You're talking about parallel universes and time travel. Sits down, puts on kettle. Tell us more.
Yeah, well, it's more about observing the past and the future rather than altering it, if you know what I mean. Because there's a certain character in the story that doesn't know about the past and needs to be kind of brought up to speed.
Hold on.
So,
3PO, reach around. 3PO, reach around. Is there one timeline or two?
It's funny you should say that Hodor thing, Cockney, right? Because there is a bit in there that's very, very similar to that before the World Between Worlds bit. So yeah.
Is there a Twin Pines Mall in Mos Eisley, or is there a
no?
I might get one in there.
Hold the door.
See, in one universe, no, think about it, Reni. Think about it. Han shot first in universe A. Han shot. No, in universe B, Greedo shot first. There's two timelines. Think about it. That's right.
No, Han shot only. Han shot only. Greedo never shot.
Correct. That's what I meant. That's what I said.
Well, and
everyone find that. I clearly, that's it. When Han shoots, there is no second. Han shot, period. That's it. Han shot, Greedo, he's face down the bowl of alien small figure, isn't he? He's pining for the fjords. Han shot, boom. No first, no second. That's right. The swapper's correct, of course. He doesn't need me to acknowledge he's correct. He knows at the moment the words have left his lips. Han shot. In the other universe, though, Greedo shot first. That's universe B. See, Reni? It's just like Back to the Future. Back to the Star Wars. Two universes.
Back to the Star Wars.
Oh, no.
Han shot.
Stop giving me ideas about the Twin Pines thing, though, because I don't need to make it any more complicated than all years.
Well, the Veil of the Force. Think about it, Swapswap. You can use the Veil of the Force to finally do something that George Lucas himself could never do. Address the issue of who shot first. It's two universes. Greedo used the Veil of the Force to go back, hold the door, shoot first. He's got a gun under the table, but he's actually fingering the wallpaper, isn't he?
Hold the door and shoot.
He's distracted you, Greedo, with his stupid Rhodian eyes with the 15 surfaces like a fly. Bzzz. Not much of a gunman, are you? All you can see is a blur. Solo, how do you know it was me? What gave me away?
Solo lost money.
Spell, you big fly-headed motherfucker.
Ian's been very quiet for like the last 10, 15 minutes.
He said he was stepping away.
It's either that or I reckon he's sitting there just shaking his head.
For a piss.
That's what Cockney's on piss time.
Matthew, as with tradition with the special anniversary shows, would you be able to give us a blast?
Excerpt, yes, Toga.
You've not given us one for a while.
Excerpt.
Excuse me.
Excerpt. How dare you?
You've not read a passage for a while on the channel. Would you be able to?
Do you want me to give you a little bit?
Yeah, give us a little bit. Just make sure the MegaGeek's here because I know he likes it. MegaGeek, have you wiped
for a
it down?
Passage? Are you up for a passage, Mega? Come on. You like a bit of the passage? You want the passage?
Yeah, can't wait.
All right, give me a minute. I'm going to try and find a good bit. All right. You talk amongst yourselves. Do something.
Okay, I'll just say for the peeps in the chat. I know they know anyway. Matthew was pretty pissed off about where Star Wars went. I think it's specifically after The Force Awakens. So, as a avid Star Wars fan, he decided that he would literally take the bull by the horns and write a novelization of how he thinks it should have gone. And we've had the privilege of listening to a little bit of the book on previous streams. And you are going to get the privilege of listening to another little bit when he's ready. Matthew, are you ready yet?
Not just yet. I'm just trying. It's a massive, long thing. I know the bit I want to get, but I'm just trying.
That's what she said.
That's what she said. So,
Rodeo.
Just type
well, actually, another way.
But Brian,
well, we've got a couple of minutes to kill, and it is technically the celebration of 200 subs.
yeah, go.
Can I ask you a couple of questions?
Yes. Yeah.
First one. No. It's just to kill a couple of minutes now. Demon gets himself.
Or the
off.
stream.
Cockney is quite happy to say intro music when he starts off his streams.
Yeah.
How's it go? Intro music.
Intro music.
If you could choose any song for Mr. Brown, what would it be?
Ooh, ee, ooh, ah, ting, tang, walla, walla, bing, bong. Ooh, ee, ooh, ah, ting,
Ebenezer good?
ting.
Yeah, maybe something party related. Yes, he's good. Ebenezer good.
Techno bass.
That's your theme tune, that is. That's what people hear when
Pump
you walk
up the
down
volume.
road.
Pump up the volume. Pump up the volume.
You're like Bod, aren't you? Here comes Mr. Brown.
Really? I see you going more metal, but that's
Easy
just
goods.
me.
Golden brown, texture like
Texture like
sun.
sun, lays me down with my mind mighty runs. Down, 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 down. Through the ages, she headed in the west. Dramatic pause. Nothing without the chat. I will.
Well, we're not. You know that. Everybody knows that. I
know
think
that.
everybody knows
You know
that.
I think
Reni, do you
last
know
night's
that?
stream.
I do.
Last night's stream proved that we are nothing without the chat when it died.
It fucking
Exactly.
died, and so did
It just
we
went
on our asses. Boof.
Yeah.
This
I
stream
think-
is over.
I think it was Last Jedi and Ryan Johnson that killed it.
I think the chat literally went to bed, didn't they? And that was the end of the
did.
stream.
And then
Yeah, we
Yahtzee
finished
come in with
early.
one final kick in the balls.
Bollocks.
Just to
Yeah.
And then
put the
just
button on
to
it.
finish
Kick in
it
the
off.
balls.
Yeah.
That's
Certainly finished me.
entertainment.
So that's one question.
One question. But I like to say for
Second-
Swapshop, because we like to complain about Star Wars, goodness knows I do, but he's doing a positive. He's like, some people are like, well, you do better. And Swapshop's going, yes, I will. So well
He's
done.
up for the
you.
challenge. Good on
Yeah.
him.
He's up for it. So, you know,
I
I'm one
didn't
of
really
those
realise.
people. I like complaining about it, but yeah, he's doing something better. Well done. you.
Yeah,
you
I'm
like
the one that
complaining
would
to
look
the
for Ryan Johnson in the street and punch him in the face. But you know, that's
Well, I wouldn't
Reni,
go that
this
far.
is Reni, this is the first time I think I've really disagreed with you and Ryan Johnson, because me personally, I would
like
go
it.
for the throat.
good call.
Oh,
Good call.
subverted my expectations. Hey, I've got a,
I mean,
I've got a grudging respect.
if we're
for
talking
him.
about like
I'll buy
no
him a
holds
pint.
barred,
I'll buy you a
okay.
pint, Ryan. It's all right. Don't worry about them.
Brian, you should go for the head like Thor did.
Such a big
You'll
target.
bounce off it. It's like a space station.
It is essentially
Thank you,
a big
Captain.
target, isn't it? You just paint a bullseye on his nose, and pretty much you've got yourself a big circular target. So yeah,
Yeah, pretty much.
The only man. How ironic he did the only Star Wars film without a Death Star, where he actually could himself have doubled for the Death Star.
he was. Yeah, he was the super weapon, wasn't he? How meta is that? Good.
That's no small moon. That's Ryan Johnson. Come to pick up
Brian?
his fee.
Brian,
Yes.
while I
Yes.
remember, you know when I said earlier, when you said yesterday,
You remember what you said? Remember what I referenced
Well-
to? You said
about Luke Skywalker at the end of The Force Awakens. Do you remember
Yes.
that?
Huh?
Do you want to say that to the MegaGeek? Because I don't think he heard that. So while Matthew's preparing his,
I'm ready, by the way.
his-
I'm ready.
his- while Matthew's preparing his passage,
Plenty of lube.
Get your passage ready.
Live
Oh,
the chat up.
would you like to do? Tell MegaGeek your little snippet from
Oh,
last
really?
night,
Is
which
it gonna be a long
I
passage?
thought was fascinating. I'd never picked
does
up
that,
on
does that
that.
have a good
I wouldn't
opening?
go that far.
I hope it's got a good opening. The
It's
passage.
true.
I said,
Good opening, nice and
Assuming
long.
MegaGeek's
firm
not on the
ending.
toilet having a piss. Ian,
Oh,
are you
yeah,
there?
I'm waiting.
Oh, good.
I'm listening.
what was that? What was I gibbering about? I was just ranting the other night. End of The Force Awakens. Obviously, Ryan Johnson, for the first ever Star Wars film that takes off exactly where the last one left off.
Ugh.
Pretty much. My interpretation of the way that Mark Hamill played his scene without any lines could in my opinion, I think he could have taken it either way. The way he acted there, to me, I thought he's basically saying Luke is back in the game. Or you could take it the other way and say, well, he has to, and do it basically what Rian Johnson did. A lot of commentators at the time said that there's only one way thing that Rian Johnson could have done, and that was to eventually go through a whole big arc for Luke and bring him back. My argument was that Mark Hamill gave him enough there to say, Luke's back in the game. That's it. Thoughts?
Sorry, I don't really
Don't
get
make me repeat that.
what you're meaning here.
What you're saying is, at the end of The Force Awakens, the kind of
Right.
body language, or the way he looked, it was like,
Yeah.
right, I'm back.
He's up
Let's
for
do
it.
this. Let's fucking
Yeah.
do it.
I'm
Yeah.
down. I'm pumped.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then when we saw the same scene again on The Last Jedi,
Mm.
we
He's
thought,
like,
let's go. And then wallop, it's over the edge of the cliff, isn't it?
yep. He's like, fuck this
So-
shit, I'm out.
Yeah.
And the question is,
Part
Well,
time
it's not a question. It's,
Ian, I
it's
think, Mr. Brown, what's
Statement.
your take on it? How you would have done
Observation.
it?
no. There's no two ways about it. I mean, the intention was to have Luke Skywalker kick ass in the next film after the first one,
Yeah.
after the first Disney one, but the Rian Johnson, because he aligned his vision, matched what Kathleen Kennedy wanted to do. They changed it all. They made Luke Skywalker look like a freaking idiot, and even the ending, he wasn't even there when he fought Kylo Ren. He wasn't there, and that was really
so
annoying
dumb.
to me.
Mhm.
Because when he was there, I was thinking, yes, they're going to give us what we want. Luke Skywalker's going to kick ass. He's going to teach this little boy about the Force, and he wasn't even there.
He was
And then
just
he
a
died.
projection.
And you're like, well, what was the point of having him in it in the first place, anyway?
That was the biggest letdown for the episode 7 was the fact that Luke just wasn't in it. Apart from that brief moment at the end, he should have been the climax of the movie, and it would have completely turned that movie around. And after I came out of episode 7, I just thought, it was good, but there was something really big missing, and it was Luke the whole time. It was just I was always hoping and waiting for that big moment, and it never came. Instead we just got Mary Sue, and that was
I could not believe when I walked out the cinema. I could not believe that Mark Hamill didn't have one line.
Well,
I mean, don't get me wrong; it works well within the context of that film, but
I'd go one further.
That's why
I
you
remember.
paid
Sorry, Brian, go on.
sorry, how do you go?
I was just saying, I go one further. After coming out of Force Awakens, I was bitterly disappointed. I was like, "Where's Luke?"
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was totally convinced that we'd see Luke beat the crap out of Kylo Ren when we were fighting in the forest at the end. And I was thinking, "Come on, Luke!
Yeah, like he would jump out of nowhere,
out, and show everybody what the Force was all about." But nothing.
Expectations subverted.
Yeah, I just thought, what the fuck? And then Han Solo got killed. That was no surprise because you knew Han Solo hated Han Solo. Harrison Ford hated Han Solo. We knew he did. So,
but the way they killed him was stupid.
Yeah.
But the thing is that if you look at the light very carefully, you knew he was going to kill him.
Oh,
Because basically, if you look at that scene very carefully, right, you had blue on one side of his face and red on the other, right? So that represents the good and the bad. So the red lightsaber and the blue lightsaber. And then when he wanted the final answer, when Han Solo, all his face was red. So I knew he was going to kill him because red represents
red lights and blue lights be one thing. Another speeding ticket for Cockney.
And he died like a villain would die.
Yeah, he died like a bitch, didn't he?
Yeah.
Just a member of the patriarchy to be wiped out by Kathleen Kennedy.
But he was complicit, and that's the worst thing.
Yeah, I mean, and also the whole idea that the relationship that he fought so hard for to be with Princess Leia, it's all gone to pot.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that was really upsetting as well. When I was watching Force Awakens, I was thinking, what? They're not together?
Yeah, but that's the thing that sucks. In the EU, they are together, and they have 3 kids, and it's amazing. Like their storyline is awesome, and they didn't quote unquote have enough story to do anything with the sequel. So who knows?
It's a tragedy. That's what I call it. The Disney Star Wars is a tragedy. It literally
the sequel tragedy.
Yeah.
Yep. I think Workshop called that. Yep.
Cockney, there's a comment in the chat. Do you want to read it?
From
Please.
Cam.
Yep.
Cam says, at Mr. Brown Alliance, yourself and at Captain Cockney Spock and the chat have been a solace to me with the pandemic and my parents' bad health. Thanks, mate. Yay! Thank you, Cam. Right,
we're
back
all
at
in this
you.
together.
A nice
All right.
comment.
Yeah, that was sweet.
Very good. Very good.
Nice one, Cam. Welcome home.
Matthew, are you ready yet?
Yes, I can read a bit now for you.
Right.
Hopefully,
The floor is yours, mate.
Hopefully, it won't go on too long, but I'll give you a little bit of
No,
an
you take
explanation.
your time. Take your time.
At the moment, there's Luke and Finn are on board a train thing. Okay, dashing across the city. I won't tell you where the city is. Well, all right, it's on board a huge space station, and they are trying to chase Ray, who's running away for whatever reason. And she's on like a little speeder bike along the tracks, and there's this huge sort of action sequence, huge chase sequence with these rail speeders, which are trains basically, maglev trains burning across the city. And out of nowhere, which you find out later on in the story where they come from, but 3 of the Knights of Ren have discovered where Luke is, and they're chasing him. They want to basically take him down, and they are about to chase him. So I'll just jump in at that point, right? So
Go for it.
speeding high across the cityscape, a lone security interceptor weaved between the highest towers and through main traffic lanes just clear of Nightis Larkis highways. Taking a dive toward an urban rail line, the vehicle hovered meters over a slow-moving rail speeder and slowed to match its speed. Its motor whined and droned as it swept above low bridges and gantries to avoid collision. The hatch beneath it opened, and 3 masked figures watched the rail speeder closely. One after the other, they dropped to the roof, their armored boots hitting the durasteel with a resonating thud. Now on programmed autopilot, the interceptor trailed back on its own and ascended out of sight. Their cloaks trailing in the breeze, the knights magnetized their boots for stability, and Gwarok and Tempath watched Cleve remove a metallic ridged rod from his belt. A tunnel approached. Oh, sorry, no, this is the speech bit now, sorry. A tunnel approaches. 30 seconds before it hits us, Gwarok warned, his helmet's vocoder compensating for the wind noise. Just a couple of inches above the durasteel, Cleve flicked its switch, and it shot a powerful beam of crimson energy into the carriage below. The metal smoldered and sparked in a wide circle was cut into the hull before he closed the loop. Cleve spread his hands free at its center, and the meter-wide disc jumped from the carriage to his palm, and Cleve discarded it, sending it clattering to the ground at the trackside. The knight deactivated the lightsaber and hooked it back to his belt, just as the rail speeder reached the edge of the tunnel. "Follow," he ordered the others, dropping through the glowing circle. Tempath and Gwarok obeyed, just as the daylight over their heads turned to blackness, and the vehicle passed into the tunnel. The carriage was almost full of passengers, with nearly every seat occupied by many different species, from elderly to younglings and all ages in between. Their attention was taken by the dramatic entrance of these cloaked figures who stared back. But striding down the aisle in their direction was a pair of security guards, blast visors down and weapons raised. "Hey, Mavic, the order came from the highest level. We're not meant to engage," one guard said to the other. "Do what you want, Jad," came the reply. Don't you hate it when you have to scroll a page down? Oh, God.
Yes, mate, you do.
Whoever these people are, they're putting this vehicle in danger and everyone aboard. Remember your job. Feeling the obligation, the other guard steeled himself and backed up his partner. "Hey," yelled Mavic, stopping 6 meters from them. "Whoever you are, you're under arrest. Discard your weapons and drop to the deck." The unwavering knight stood silent, seemingly ignoring the order. The guards primed their blasters to maximum stun level. Any normal person would find it a formidable warning, but these beings weren't normal by any means. Finally, Cleve acted, but in a way neither guard expected. The passengers stared in a state of fear, pulling luggage and each other closer for protection, but the guards stood fast, blasters still leveled high at the knights' masked heads. Bowing forward, Cleve reached up both of his arms, and I've written that bit wrong, and from his sides, and Gwarok and Tempath hovered their hands by their holsters. But before the guards could advance further, the ceiling lights died, throwing the entire carriage into blind darkness. The relative peace within the coach soon became momentary chaos, with distraught screams and loud droid chatter. Remain calm. Everyone remain calm. Stay in your seats. Backup lights will take over any second. Mavic yelled, barely audible above the confusion. Come on, where are those backups? He uttered. Seconds before the lines of illuminators flickered on, restoring visibility. Relieved, the occupants checked their environment, both security guards trying their best to calm the passengers. All eyes fell on the spot where the mysterious trespassers stood, but all three were now gone. Mystified and relieved, both guards tried to check their weapons, but to their astonishment, their hands were now empty. Meanwhile, in the rail speeder cab, the pilot studied his console for clues to what caused the power fluctuation. Must be a faulty circuit somewhere, he said to himself, flicking the autopilot switch and spinning his seat about face. Just before he stood to descend to the lower platform, he became frozen in fear. 3 ghoulish shadow beings now blocked his way. The black eye slits in their masks seemed to stare into his soul, immobilizing the man. Pulling an arm from beneath his cloak, Gorak held up a security blaster and trained it on the pilot. The knight discharged the weapon squarely in his chest, violently knocking the driver back into his seat, his loose limbs hanging from it like a blue-suited rag doll. Stun? Gorak remarked, disappointed by the weapon setting. Thankfully, Cleve replied, climbing the steps to the pilot station. Mess means disorder. Disorder means complications. Pushing the seat to one side, Cleve stood at the controls in its place, and both his dark brethren flanking him watched silently and expectant of some sinister incident. The rail speeder burst back into daylight to emerge within the multi-lane expressway, and Cleve deactivated the autopilot. The vehicle steered across the tracks, skipping lanes and completely diverting the vehicle off its arranged route. Unrest stirred among the passengers as they jolted around in their seats and watched the rail speeder alter course. What's going on? We just took the wrong exit, an Ithorian cried through his translator. Still shaken from their encounter, both security guards tried to calm the crowd. Where are we going? Yelled a worried Yakora man, holding his small child. An elderly Dracelian man turned to the guards from his seat. Who are those people? Are they responsible for this? Sir, please stay calm, Mavic urged him. We'll have this resolved soon. I'm sure the pilot received orders just to take a detour. The pair huddled near the drive cab hatch, whispering out of the passenger's earshot. One of us needs to go check up there, Jad suggested anxiously. I'm going nowhere without another weapon, said Mavic. Not with those creeps looking around. Yeah, for all the good they were last time, Jad whispered back to him. Well, how else do you expect us to defend ourselves, replied Mavic. We can't just waltz in there unarmed. You see where they came from? Asked Jad. We got to notify auxiliary control. Mavic grasped the edge of the overhead storage shelf, leaning to check through the carriage portals. Jad, this is not good, he said. We're over the speed limit, way beyond safety restrictions. If the carts take too much stress, they'll decouple. Jad's face turned pale. It must be them, he said, referring to the hijackers. We have to assume the pilot's down. Get to the comms console, ordered Mavic. Patch it through directly to auxiliary control on the emergency channel. We need backup. The two of us can't take on these freaks alone. Auxiliary are the ones who ordered the stand down. What makes you sure they'll send help? Jad asked. If we don't stand by and we all do nothing, then everyone is dead, replied Mavic. Don't know about you, but I don't intend on dying today. Cleve pointed to something in the near distance. Directly ahead, he said. That vehicle. Skywalker is on board. Gorak and Tempath jostled to get a better look. Where's he heading? Tempath asked. There, the side of the track, Cleve replied, pointing to the tiny craft in the distance. It's the girl. He's in pursuit. But it's him we need, not her. Brace for impact, he warned, sharply swinging the cab steering tiller to the right. The drive car banked violently, its magnetic drive system groaning under the strain, and the carriages followed it, skipped across 5 lanes. As they cut across the rails, a pair of oncoming rail speeders approached at subsonic speed. With blaring sirens, their air brakes and retro thrusters were triggered. Both swerved, jumping lanes to avoid an impact. Through their elevated position, Finn and Luke turned in the cab, the rail speeder, to see the oncoming vehicles rush by. But R2 soon grabbed their attention, chirping about the image in the holosphere. What's he say? Asked Finn. What, behind? Said Luke, noticing the hollow image of another rail speeder in the rear sensors. Hold on, was all he could cry as the vehicles violently collided. Trailing speeder gouged through the side of the other, shifting them 2 lanes across, its buckled drive car shedding debris in the torn trail of metal. The passengers feared for their lives, hanging onto the seats and each other as the entire line of cars lurched from the impact, sending some helpless travellers tumbling across the aisles. Who the hell? They're insane! Finn screamed, staying upright through the strength of his augmented arms hanging on the overhead railing. Luke was sent against an adjacent bulkhead, his grasp on the rail slipping from the shock. Fortunately, R2 stayed locked in place by his interface arm, and BB-8 had magnetized his ball-like body to the running deck. Both vehicles careened along the tracks, barely in control of their direction, but now the drive cars were snagged together by jagged metal and broken paneling. R2, keep us straight, yelled Luke, trying to be heard over the deafening screech of rending metal. Cleared popped open the hatch of the hijacked rail speeder, raising himself to its roof. Magnetizing his boots to the hull plating, he gained balance and rode the unstable vehicle. Then in seconds, Tempath joined him. The second knight took aim at the other speeder and fired, smashing through its cabin and shattering transparasteel shards around Luke and Finn. Shocked, they turned to the other side of the cockpit to see the exit hole in the thick metal plating. Luke followed its eye line to the puncture point to see the 2 black figures staring back. Finn leant across the shattered porthole, searching for the cause of the damage. The dark figures stood against the bright light of day just beyond the viewport, one of whom brandished a long, high-caliber rifle. No way, Finn whispered in disbelief. It can't be. Friends of yours? Luke asked, trying to balance. Not exactly, answered Finn. You ever hear the Knights of Ren? What? Luke asked, straining to hear over the alarms and screeching metal. Snoke's hunters? Finn was astonished and stricken with fear. How'd they find us? He asked himself. Of course. Why didn't I see it before? Said Luke. Before what? Finn replied, turning back to him. No time, replied Luke. He reached up to unlock the hatch above and rotated it sideways, opening it fully. Tapping his droid's dome, he gave R2 the order. On my signal, R2. Hit the brakes. The Jedi scaled the back of the pilot seat and pushed himself clear, emerging atop the cab, cloak flapping in the wind. He scrambled for stability. You're as crazy as they are, Finn yelled after him, and R2 chirped and bleeped in agreement, digging in his leg pocket. Finn removed the lightsaber Ray left behind at Shiko's studio and turned to BB-8. Arm outstretched, he waved the object to the droid. BB-8, take this. Keep it safe, he said, hanging onto the railing with his other arm. The droid zealously budged back and caught it with his extended utility claw. The arm and saber retracted swiftly into his spherical body, and he and Finn exchanged a nod. On the roof of the speeder, Cleve yelled an order to his fellow knight. Sling that rifle, he said over his shoulder. It's not our job to kill Skywalker. It's just ventilation, Tempath morbidly joked, slinging the rifle across his back and instead unholstering a stolen security blaster. Luke eyed both knights with grim determination, mentally preparing for his next move. Steadily, he rose to full height, ready to react to any movement the knights might make. Cleve studied him back, almost amused that Luke deserved the title of Jedi at all. Surrender, old man. We might go easy on you. Resist, and you'll beg us to end your misery, he yelled. Your decision, Jedi. There you go.
Wow.
That was awesome.
Hell, Demon,
Wow.
That was stellar. That was like, listen to, if you'd said, I'm actually just reading out James Luceno, I would have agreed.
How good was
Can I
that?
just,
Yeah.
can I just say there's one criticism?
Yeah.
I saw plenty of opportunity in there for a wibbly wobbly or a Hercules jerkily, and you never took it.
Wibbly wobbly.
Brilliant, Damon.
Hercules
Seriously,
jerkily.
brilliant.
The only criticism I got is that horrible American accent you kept trying to pull off when you were doing the
That's what
voices.
Rennie's for.
I thought it was
no,
good.
But
Okay,
he
that's okay.
tried. He really tried.
I like his Kenobi.
I need to brush up on that. I really need to brush up on that. It's like you're doing it just off the cuff like that. It's just, it sounds crap. But,
Hey,
you know.
you
I
have a
was
better
waiting
American
for your
accent than
Kenobi.
Robert Pattinson, so there you go.
I'll
Very
take that.
impressed.
I'll take it.
I
Thank you very
will,
much. Very kind words.
I will say, Matthew, while you was reading that, not one comment was posted in the chat, so everybody was
Wow.
listening. So
Nice.
They were
Grits.
listening intently.
they
It's
were
'cause they're
listening,
all
mate.
asleep.
Oh,
Yeah.
Mega
Yeah.
Geek.
There's always
Well,
one, isn't there?
It is late. It is
We
late.
try and
Come on.
make it
It's
a
Mega
serious
Geek's
channel.
bedtime.
There's always one joker, isn't there? One silly person. ruining
Carry
a
on up the
serious-
Mega Geek.
You know what I mean? Exactly. What is this MegaGeek? Is this what carry up quite right, sir. It's not a comedy show, MegaGeek. You know, we're trying to be serious over here. You know, let's talk about movies, but no, we just want to make knob jokes, don't we?
I can imagine Ian's propping his head up. Ian's propping his head up on his arm at his desk. And his shoulders like slipping away every so often. It's like, what?
No, I think it's very good. I think you've put a lot of work in there. It's obvious you put a lot of work in there, and a lot of thought as well. And you should be congratulated for that. You know, it's much better than what we got though from Disney. Fuck's sake. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, they didn't.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I just wanted to put characters in action sequences. You know?
Yeah. It
But
works.
that's still like open to corrections and refinement. Yeah, you know what I mean. But it's just basically getting ideas down on the page.
What are you doing with the Veil of the Force? Is there going to be a Universe B?
Matthew,
Come on.
Do you want to
Cockney,
comment?
I will confirm, Cockney. I will confirm there is a Universe B, but you don't get to really know about it until the end of the story, and not quite in the way you're expecting, but it's there at least.
I am already expecting. Wow, you heard it here first. Universe B.
Oh, that's nice, Cam. Thank you very much, mate. Appreciate that. Do appreciate that.
The only thing I'd add to the story is a chainmail bikini. I think, you know, a bit of fan service. Wouldn't go amiss.
If only Ray would
on the
forward out.
robot.
Exactly. I'm not Ray. She's asexual. Beautiful and yet asexual. It's amazing, isn't it? Can she act? Finding out soon. I've got a 5 in Maggie. I say she can't. She cannot act her way out of a paper bag. She cannot. She can canoe. She cannot. She Captain Cockney canoed. Look, I could have got away with that and that one. You keep drawing attention to my flubs. How dare you? Right from the top. That Daisy Ridley. I'll tell you what. She's a beauty. She is, but sexy she is not. And also, she cannot act her way out of a proverbial paper bag. But I hope I'm wrong. Let's find out on the... Yeah, she doesn't want to get typecast. What's her new film about? Some fucking Doris lands on the planet. Oh, I'm blonde this time. Wait for me. I can tell what you're thinking. Conversations up here, Spider-Man. Fucking brilliant. 2 hours of that. I can't wait. Spoiler alert. They kill the baddies and fuck off. Well done. Well done. Ray! Well done. Well done, Daisy. What a great...
Career might be
what next?
Ray now, isn't it?
Ray on
Might
the
be.
Orient Express.
Yeah.
But I've seen her. On she's quite good actually. But you know, she's just giving
opening her mouth, closing her mouth, looking surprised, looking.
She's just giving crap scripts. That's all. Yeah.
Shit end of the stick again.
Yeah.
I think the stink of Star Wars or Disney Wars is on her now, isn't it? And she's going to be really hard to watch that.
She's always going to have that stigma about her. You know?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Stigma.
Sorry, you need to go.
People do get better though. I mean, like the kids that were in Harry Potter, they were crap when the first film came out. All of them were terrible, but they did get better as it went along, but just by default. Do you know what I mean? So,
Brown, can we get?
Emma Watson's successful.
Yeah, she is.
Can we get a chainmail bikini? Brown, can you do a quick search? Duck, duck, go. Leia chainmail bikini. Put it on screen. No particular reason.
Don't put that robot on with a chainmail.
Just to make me happy. Come on now. 200 subs. Why not?
If my computer blows up, don't blame me.
You'll know why. Come on.
I'm just reading. I like MC's comment.
Have to look it up. He's got it in another tab already. What do you mean? Look it up, Cockney. They're already ready. Sorry, carry on.
I just read out MC's comment. MC's comment says, "Excellent swap shot. Well worth skipping a few copper routes for." He's on about, because I used to work with him. He's on about the thing that we used to do in our job. He says, "Throat lozenge." It's like it actually is a bit dry now. Yeah.
Well,
Daniel
going
Radcliffe
for about 15 minutes.
It's still a bit wooden.
Hey.
Splinters.
He's in that new film, isn't he? Guns Akimbo.
Yeah, it looks rubbish.
It looks what?
Guns. He's got the guns. He's got the guns taped to his hand, and he can't get rid of them.
It's got a thing called grip. What about opposing thumbs, old Bean? Eh? Opposable thumbs. What? Grip. It's called grip. No. Oh, tape the gun. Tape it to my. What the hell?
Is he got it taped to his hands, or is it just? I don't know. I saw the trailer ages ago.
No, he's got a CD now. Then he vinyled it. What a hipster! He vinyled it to his hand. Then he mini disced it. Now he's He's just downloaded it to his hand. It's not even there.
There's another John Wicky style movie just been released, isn't there, as well, with Karen Gillan in it. I can't remember the name of, but it looks
I saw it. It's okay. It's not great or anything like that. I think there's scenes there was a scene of a fight in a bowling alley, and it was so awful. I almost laughed. The choreographing was so awful. You can tell Karen Gillan can't even throw a punch to save her life. It's absolutely ridiculous.
She's so thin as well, though. She's so tiny. You know?
Yeah. But it was okay. It was style over substance, put it that way.
Yeah, I thought it might be.
Yeah.
Having said that, there's a film released a good few years back now that I absolutely loved. It was in that kind of genre of the mindless action kind of genre. Clive Owen was in it.
Shoot 'em up. Shoot 'em up. Yeah, that was okay. I like Shoot 'em Up.
I ain't got time to bleed.
I love that film. Totally. I thought Clive Owen was great in it. I thought, it didn't really do anything new or anything like that, but it was just genuinely really enjoyable. It had some great bits in it. And I love the fact that he was like just chewing carrots all the way through the film.
Carrot eating.
Was that the same people who did Crank?
Spank.
Crack.
Crank.
Crank. I don't know.
I don't know.
I'm sure it was. Shoot 'em up. I'm sure it was. I might be wrong, but yeah.
I'm sure you're right.
Hardcore Henry directed Nobody, didn't he?
Hardcore Henry, I haven't seen that.
He directed Nobody.
No one better than you.
I do like action films. I think one of the best action films ever made was Die Hard.
Got a feeling most of it.
But is it a
Be
Christmas
careful
film?
around those people that say it's a Christmas movie. Yeah.
But it's like a machine, isn't it? Die Hard. It just keeps going and going. It's really good. Really,
it just keeps giving, doesn't it? That movie.
The thing about Harry Potter, it got really interesting once they started doing time travel. Thing is, in Harry Potter, when Hermione and Harry went back in time with Rupert, did they create another timeline?
Have you seen it?
Rupert.
Have you seen it, Cockney?
It's a closed loop.
Yeah, I saw
Like
the time
it's a
travel bit.
self-fulfilling
Oh,
prophecy.
it's so good for you. It's a closed loop.
Brian,
was there time travel in Harry Potter?
Of course there wasn't.
There's
It's probably
time travel in
haven't
Harry
seen
Potter.
it.
Yes.
Oh,
They
good.
travel in time. They
That actually
travel
raised a
back
bit of
in
interest
time.
for me then.
The lupus affair.
for you.
Brian.
Time confirms that time travel in there is time travel in Harry Potter. At that point, even I had to walk away.
Well, they do time travel in Family Guy. What do you think about that?
Yep, I had to walk away.
Stewie has a time machine.
Yeah, but does it create another universe? Like
Homer,
in Back to the Future.
Homer in The Simpsons had a time traveling toaster, didn't he?
I think so. Yeah.
The time travel.
Did he tread on an insect?
He did. He stepped on like a dragonfly or something, if I remember
Is
right.
it? And yet the one thing there's no time travel in is Rick and Morty. Because it came up, MC came from the chat. There is no time travel in Rick and Morty, even though it is based on Doc and Marty.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do everything apart from. They do parallel universes. Watch carefully. No time. There's even a cardboard box of time travel stuff labeled in Rick's garage. Time travel stuff, but they never use it. No time travel.
At least he turned himself into a pickle.
He's done everything. I'm Pickle Rick. Never say that.
Oh,
I'm
really?
Pickle
It's so
Rick.
funny.
I know, but they got so surprised.
They probably haven't done the time travel thing yet because they know how complicated it is to write a decent time travel story and make it work.
Yes, indeed.
There have been some really good time travel films, though. As I said, I love Time After Time. Time After Time is one of my favorite time travel films.
I like She-Bop.
That's a good song, is that?
She-Bop.
I haven't seen Time After Time. Who's in that?
Cindy
Malcolm McDowell is in it. He plays H.G. Wells. So basically, H.G. Wells and Jack the Ripper were friends, and then Jack the Ripper he makes a time machine. H.G. Wells makes a time machine, and H.G. Wells escapes in it, and he goes into the future. And H.G. Wells, Jack the Ripper escapes in it and goes into the future, and H.G. Wells goes after him in his time machine.
Big company and goes into space.
Question,
really good.
Question for MegaGeek: did McDowell, whatever his name is, kill Captain Kirk?
Malcolm McDowell.
Shot him in the back.
Andy McDowell. Andy McNabb. I'm Andy McDowell.
Shot him in the back.
Malcolm McDowell.
Andy McDowell.
Yeah, it's very good.
Moving on.
Excellent.
But I remember seeing that as a kid as well. And I loved it.
Oh, I hated when he killed Captain Kirk.
He did
what?
Generation.
Pointless.
Oh,
Rude.
Generation.
Spoiler alert. Hello.
See, that was
what?
That was another. I don't know how they missed.
Casablanca. I haven't seen that.
That was
either.
another script that was
They did
really
what in the end?
badly done. I mean, Generations. You had these two powerhouse captains together, and they just
Good game.
didn't
Good
do
game.
hit it away, didn't they? They should have
The generation
Unbelievable.
game. Mullinex mixer, a phaser rifle.
They just did it
Cuddly
to pass
toy.
the torch. It was lame.
Yeah, it was very lame.
scanner.
You'd think that Kirk would.
Fondue set.
I don't know. It
Cuddly
was
toy,
just really
obviously.
bad, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Toy.
Absolutely,
Tribble.
really horrible the way
Tribble.
they treated Captain Kirk.
Cuddly
in that
toy.
film.
They
Of
had
the
the
Tribble.
potential to be a good duo. And
Yeah.
they shot it straight into the toilet.
Like Reni and Renato.
They did, yeah. It was really bad.
Very good.
Thank you.
Kirk wasn't
Move
Kirk wasn't even going to be in it, was he?
No, it was.
Pike is going to be pikey.
Well, he was, but it was meant
He
to be
wasn't.
Spock
Depends on
and
which
Kirk
universe.
in the beginning, but
Kirk.
Leonard Nimoy didn't
Spock.
want to do it,
No.
Ah,
so
right,
they
okay.
Didn't want
replaced
to do
him with Chekhov, I think.
Check off.
Were they feuding
off.
at the time?
No.
I can't remember the reason why I said no.
Right.
Well, he said no because the part was just useless. He said, "Well, what's
He
the point of
wanted
me
more
being in it?"
lines. That was it.
But no, it's not that. There was no point in him being there.
No
Yeah.
point.
He
He
was
didn't
gonna-
have a purpose.
Yeah, he didn't have a purpose
No
being
purpose.
there. So
Flailing. Adrift. Useless. Chocolate teapot. You know what I mean?
I don't know.
Ashtray, he was like an ashtray on a motorbike.
Ashtray
Unnecessary. Ashtray motorbike.
I did like the second one though. The first
Kazar's
contact.
Banjo.
Well, first contact was brilliant.
Oh, that was a good film.
Yeah, good film.
Yeah,
Good film.
definitely. But,
Mm.
it's a shame.
Yep. Never mind. Move
So
on.
much potential.
Oh,
Yeah.
Somewhere. Yeah.
Yeah, they screwed it
That's
up.
life. Happens to us all.
That's life. Cockney,
very
are you
quick.
going to do something
Hello.
after this?
I don't know. Are you? Maybe. Possibly. Are you?
I
Depends.
think you're
You're coming with me.
you're just ready to go and just we need some
Always.
energy.
Are you flagging? Come on, it's your show.
No, I'm
200.
generally I'm okay. I just it just feels like it's
Bit of water in the face. Come on. Come on, Brown. Wake up, Brown. Come on.
No,
I
I'm
need the
fine.
listeners.
I'm fine.
Come on. More subscribers for Brown. That'll wake him up. He wakes up for subscribers.
So I want to
sorry.
ask Matt a question. So Matt,
Please.
if you say, I know that you're writing this novel and stuff like that, but
Yes.
what do you
It's not
imagine?
you.
What do you imagine?
Oh, no, I'm just building them
Luke,
up.
Han Solo, and Princess Leia would have done in the Force Awakening if they were together.
Well, Luke would have come back from the island. They would have welcomed him back into the fold. I expect he would have, rejoined the alliance, and that alone would have brought Han back as well. Personally, I like to think that Han left Leia because of the loss of their son to the dark side. So it kind of Han was off like searching for him to try and bring him back, and he was away all the time, and therefore they kind of just drifted, all because of what happened with Ben. But I think Luke returning would bring all that back together again, and he would say, "I'm going to bring Ben back. I know I'm going to do it." And all three of us together, they're not going to be able to stop us, kind of thing, because basically Leia's got the entire alliance behind her. Han has got, he's a very willful guy and who could drum up a good following, and he's got a lot of contacts, and he's a hero of the rebellion. And then you've got Luke, who's like the biggest hero of all of them. And you're getting all three back together again. You'd broadcast that across the galaxy, tell everybody, the alliance is recruiting. We need your help. This is, the original three heroes from the Battle of Yavin or whatever are back. We need you to be on our side. We're building an army. We need you to join us. And I think that is where it could have gone from that point. With three of them being back together again, it would have been strength
Are
in
you
numbers.
saying that the Force Awakens happened, or the Force Awakens didn't happen and this would happen instead?
Never happened.
If it never happened, I could see it being a lot better, because Leia and Han never would have broken up.
Yeah, same here.
No,
Yeah.
exactly. I mean, if
They would have had an open marriage.
if Luke had come back anyway, he would have come back at
Han's
the end of
got
the movie.
needs.
And if he'd come back at the end of the movie, it would have been after Han got killed. So you can't really bring Han back in their universe, I guess. So it would have been just Leia and Luke.
Well, but if they never made that movie, then Han wouldn't have died in the first place.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
you could see the whole thing with the Solo twins and then their third son Anakin, or their third child Anakin, you could see Ben Solo, which Ben was actually, or Ben Skywalker was actually Luke Skywalker's son. And see how that kind of ties in with the whole Obi-Wan thing. You could have seen Luke meet Mara Jade. I mean, it could have been so much better,
Yeah, but that film just screwed everything up, really, didn't it? The original movie set up,
It really did.
My aim is to try and salvage something from that, and I came up with what I think personally was a really good idea to take it forwards that kind of redeems it. And I can't go into the details. I can't go into the details without ruining it, because every single bit I read out almost ruins the story, and there's bits in there that completely give things away. So I have to be very, very selective about what I read out. But the entire conclusion of the story that I'm writing brings it right back, kind of redeems everything, the characters and everything like that, I like to think, and redeems Han. And I'm not going to say it brings Han back, but there's things where the people that were pissed off at Han dying won't be so pissed off by the end of the story, put it that way. And it's kind of it alludes to the expanded universe. So that's an actual continuity, right? That's an actual continuity. And there's the whole philosophy of the Force and the Jedi and everything like that expands so much in it, because there's multi-layers to it. There's alternate realities and all this sort of stuff that Luke has learnt over the course of decades, that he's studied the Force so much that he's learned about things about the universe, that other places exist that we've never seen, all this kind of stuff,
Trippy.
And by the end of the story, kind of that all plays a part. So characters that you've seen die and you thought they're gone forever might not necessarily have died in the way you think, and could be possibly brought back, but not in the way you think, if you know what I mean. It's very difficult to explain.
I like it. It sounds better than what Disney has. Would you be keen to kind of include Luke's Jedi Academy? Or no?
Oh, he has an academy in it, definitely.
Sweet.
And there's a lot of Jedi there, and
being away, not this matter.
something incredibly bad happens to it, which I can't say, but it's
fuck that Kennedy has.
That sends Luke on a rather dramatic story arc, and also Rey as well, because they're linked, and it's all part of his motivation throughout the story, is why his academy fell, or his praxium, as I call it, and it's all about if his praxium didn't fall and all, and massive cataclysm happen, then the story won't happen, because that's the main motivation behind the whole thing. And people think there's like a did he or didn't he story as well, whether did Luke make it happen, or did someone else make it happen? Did Luke sabotage his own academy? All this kind of stuff. And I've kind of asked questions all the way through, and trying to keep people guessing all the way through the stories.
Look, why do you persist
it sounds
in
cool to
using
me.
the metric? Don't ruin the joke there, Reni. Why do you persist in rule?
Imperial.
That's right from the top.
If Kylo Ren was the bad guy in Star Wars, I would have started off in between the story where he's already turned to the dark side. Han Solo and Leia are still together. So and Luke, and they're all trying to find him or trying to stop him. I would start with that, and then for the first movie, have the three together all the way through, and then gradually towards the ending or in the middle, we introduce Rey and Finn. And I would put Finn in front before Rey. I would, because I like the idea that Finn
was awesome. He had the potential to be awesome.
Exactly. I like the idea that Finn may have the Force in him, because that's when you saw the very first Disney one. I just loved his character. I thought, he's got the Force. That's why he was came out of being a stormtrooper. That's why he wanted to get out, because the Force it's awakened within him. Do you know what I mean? And then that's what I would have done, but Disney did what they did.
I like the way he shot all his mates. That was a good awakening. Here's my comrades. Watch as I just casually shoot them as if they were cannon fodder.
Mass.
I'm a goodie.
I don't know. I just think that it's got a lot of potential, Star Wars, until they screwed it up.
Fucked it up.
Yeah.
They just didn't care, did they? Really? They just didn't care.
Yeah.
Well, maybe they just didn't know how to write a good story. I don't know. It's not
fact that they have. Now Jones, he will feel the same thing.
And what was the point of actually having the Muppet in the second one? I mean, we know, and the way they did. the way they did Yoda in Empire Strikes Back was so much better than the way they did it in the second film, because it looked like a puppet. It looked like someone's hand was up that puppet and making it work. But in Empire Strikes Back, it didn't look like that at all.
Because they built the set around him.
That's right. And I don't
It
know.
looked as if he was high.
But I will say,
spot you have found.
I think you have a lot of great ideas, Matt. It's disappointing to people like me that read the EU, and like I pictured Rey and Kylo basically being Jason and Jaina Solo, the Solo twins.
The road deal drive.
They had so much. Shut up, Cockney.
Yeah, shut up, Cockney. For 2 minutes.
Shutting up, sir.
To do so, and they had a third son that they named Anakin. When Leia finally forgave Anakin or Darth Vader for all of his wrongdoing. And it was a really sweet story, but I was really hoping they would take it that way and they'd be the Solo twins, and they didn't do that.
I think they probably thought, we're going to owe people like some kind of royalties if we take from the EU book, so we're going to have to write our own. And this is the whole reason why they decanonized the EU, so they could write their own stories. But those stories ended up being a load of crap. So they completely ditched all the great stories that everyone loved and replaced them with some mediocre tripe that no one cares about.
Exactly.
I figured that Rey was going to have been an ex-student of Luke.
Yeah, it would have been.
When she holds the lightsaber and she says the Force, as if she's thinking back. And I thought it was going to be revealed that she used to study under Luke Skywalker.
That's what I thought.
But didn't you think, how is it that Leia kind of seemed to know her in The Force Awakens? I really thought she was going to be related to Luke and Leia somehow.
Yeah, I thought there was going to be, not so much the relation, but I thought there was going to be, she was an ex-student and did know them, and somehow it'd been...
Well, a man can't teach a woman anything in these films, can they?
No.
There is that. Especially in the second one.
That's blasphemy nowadays. You can't say that.
Blasphemy.
Does has the cat got a point to make?
Yeah, she's ready for bed already.
It's a shame.
She's trying to coax me to go to bed. It's only like 7:00 here, so I'm like,
what?
Oh. Yeah, I know.
What?
Cockney, are you going to do something on yours after?
The way you're asking, sounds like I am.
I'm gonna pull the eject at 3 hours.
So as long as you are you going to come on?
Ian's working tomorrow, so he needs to.
Yeah,
I'm just about ready to collapse at this point.
Yeah.
I'll just yes.
Do half an
Cockney.
hour with me.
Yeah,
you're the only one I can send the link to.
Yeah, I'll figure it out.
You're the nerve center, Brown.
I will distribute
a quickie at my one.
I will distribute the links. I will just say to everybody in the chat, thank you for sticking with us this evening.
Nothing without the chat.
Well, you know that. I know that. 200 subscribers.
Congratulations.
Thank you. It's taken me, 7 months?
2 weeks.
201 now.
Nice. Yes, I know. As I said, I started this channel as a kind of get together for people who are suffering with the lockdown and the pandemic, especially with the kind of depression side of it, because when you start going inwards and you have nobody to speak to, it's dark times. So that was the kind of main reason that I wanted to kind of.
That was actually the second question I was going to ask you. Why you start it, and you answered it in the chat before even. Because
there has been, I will say, there has been times where a good day to me would be when I have not thought about killing myself. And I know that sounds bad, but when the depression strikes, you don't want to think such things,
but you can't help it.
But you just feel like, I just think it would be better for me to drive my van at high speed into a brick wall, because I think that would be the easier option. And with regards everything,
it takes enough thought for you to say that, to be quite honest.
Well,
and I totally understand, and you know my kind of personal circumstances.
With regards everything that's gone on in the world, I don't think the kind of mental aspects side was factored into that, and it's not been mentioned much. And I know Real Honest in Australia, they're going into a lockdown, and apparently it's been a bad one. It's I've seen some of the videos that it's very, very bad, and it's not good shit. And yeah, people cannot have any earnings for a while or live on food they've got in the larder and stuff and just kind of exist day to day. But when you start thinking I'd be better off dead, I don't think they factored this in. And I don't know about you guys, this isn't living.
No,
and
it's not.
I genuinely think that people have had enough.
Well,
and there's going to be a lot of people picking up the pieces of this shit. And yeah, people have lost out on money.
Well, did you look up the suicide rates and all that? And like, you know, when you look up suicide rates, especially in Australia, because I think they've had it pretty freaking hard.
Yeah.
It's really depressing. And you know, they don't, you know, you can't have a job, you can't do anything, you can't go anywhere, you can't be with your friends or your family. And then they wonder why people are, you know, are miserable. And honestly, the only way, and I'm saying this as somebody who used to work in healthcare, the only way you can get over an illness or to build your immunity is to get out there. Unfortunately, it sucks, but I'm telling you, when I worked at a pharmacy, it really helped to build up my immunity, and I really don't get sick that easily anymore.
Yeah.
So, by avoiding it, you are killing your immune system. By staying in lockdown and sitting at home and not going anywhere, you're really weakening your immune system. Mm-hmm. It's not smart.
But
talk to a nurse.
Go out and French kiss a stranger today.
As I said from literally day one, if you've got dark times yourself, shoot us a message, because it's something that's not talked about, especially in the male. Sorry, I'm going to say this, and this is what hurts the most. It's not talked about in the toxic white male / easy fucking target circles. And these people are, for me, they're just kicking people down in their hour of need. And it's not good. But as I said, we have Cockney will agree as well. We've got a great community.
Excellent community.
We have got a great community, and we're all here for each other. Every chat is a super chat. Every chat is a reaching out between friends. So, as I said, it's only 200 subs, but you know what? It means the world, and it means the world. So all I can say is cheers, boys and girls. Cheers. I'm going to get emotional now, but cheers, boys and girls. So,
nice.
As I said, we are nothing without the chats. And
you know that.
Genuinely mean that. So I will say thank you, everybody. We will be back on Saturday with...
I don't. He does.
You don't, but you've not reached that. You've not. You will. I have confidence in you, my friend.
Go hit him in the helmet.
You damn wanker.
You wankery cunt.
So I will say we are going to be discussing, indeed, Back to the Future 2 on Saturday.
Oh, good for you!
I genuinely think it's going to be
fucking timelines.
It's going to be a good one.
So complicated that they actually had
to
stop the film halfway through, so the actual character had to go. Look, it's like this. There's 3 timelines. There's this timeline, the Kathleen Kennedy timeline, and the Frank Marshall timeline, and they're all shite. In every timeline, you fucked it right up.
So
There is
I will
no timeline
say
where you haven't fucked it up.
yes.
That's a dream.
So
sequence.
I will say on
Thank
an
you.
alternative reality in maybe 10, 15 minutes, Cockney Spock will be doing his bits. So look
Hello.
out for that. I will thank my guests. Reni, too. Thank you.
Thank
Thank you.
you for asking me on. I appreciate it, and I'm very proud of you and happy for you.
Thank you very much. And we will see you on Cockneys.
Yeah, if he'll have me, I'll be on there for a little bit.
Rock and roll.
Not Brian. Thank you, my friend.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks to the chat, Reni, Demon, different class tonight, by the way.
I appreciate it.
Cockers and yourself, Mr. Brown. Admire your honesty. It takes a lot of strength to speak
Well,
so candidly,
All right. Yeah.
and particularly, including me in these streams and stuff has been something that I'd never thought I'd ever do, and it's been an absolute revelation.
Well,
it's been
mate,
great to meet everyone here.
Mate, it wouldn't be the same without you, mate. So
No,
great to have you on board. So are you going to be on Cockneys
Thanks.
after? Are you?
No, I need to go straight to bed. I'm looking after the.
All right, mate.
Aw.
We will see you next time, my friend.
So thanks very much. Here's to 300 subs, incidentally.
Yes, absolutely.
Yep,
Yeah.
You're awesome, Brian. Just so you know.
he is.
You too.
Thank you, Matthew.
You're very welcome, mate, and congratulations again. And you're doing brilliantly. This is a big milestone. The smaller numbers, as I understand it, are the biggest milestones, and it's only when you get into the high numbers does it become easier to get subs. So this is
Will it be as good? I
grinding.
don't know.
This is the grinding stage. So any kind of 100 amount, or any as a ton or 2 ton or 3 ton or whatever, that's the really hard stuff. So you're really doing well to get over this point. So you just got to keep going, and it's going to keep flowing. And the more you get, the more you get.
Yeah.
So people are going to see the higher sub count, and more people are going to tune in.
Okay.
You're going to see it happening now from onwards. So just keep at it, man. You're doing brilliantly.
And I will say
Aw,
it
that's
is
sweet.
our privilege for you to read your story, mate. Thank you very much.
Oh,
I
it
just
was
hope I
so
didn't bore anyone.
good.
Nice.
It was so
Thank
good.
you.
Thank
It
you.
was.
Chocolate.
And last but not least, the wise elder of the channel, the fully paid up member of the Selfridges Appreciation Society, writer, producer, porthole connoisseur, director. Here he is, the mega geek himself, Mr. Ian David Diaz. Thank you, sir.
It's all right. I'm really tired, so
I know you are.
He's
I know you are.
tired.
Sorry, I've rambled on a bit, but
that's all right. I just, just to reiterate what Matt says. Yeah, it's very brave of you to say all that stuff, and I just hope that life takes an upturn for you, because you always find that when you're at the bottom, the only way is up, right? So
there are people worse off than me, and
exactly.
I feel for them people. I've relatively had it good. There are people who have been in shit streets. So
yeah.
Anyway, okay. So we'll see you Saturday. Back to the Future 2. It's going to be a good one, yes?
Yeah, I'll try as always. Yeah. All right.
Right, that's it, boys and girls. On Cockneys in a few minutes. Take care. You're all wonderful. Here's to the next 100. Take care, everybody.
Yay!
There you go. Take care.